Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Today we are seeing if the SPY can take back the 5-day moving average or if it is going to reject, paying attention if that 2-hour can curl up for a simple swing trade or if this 30-minute is going to pull us back down. So we'll pay attention to that going forward. We can see a very similar thing for the Qs. Just quick on the SPY, by the way, the daily expected move 596.50 to the upside, 584.10 to the downside. Qs, we do have 511.22 to the upside and 495.70 to the downside. So key thing here is you notice that both of these moves are down by these lows and both of these moves are up in liquidity. So it'll be very interesting to see how the day plays out, but we can see that those have really spread out. So we can see some rip around kind of moves. We'll pay attention if that's happening going forward, 2-hour swing up or the 30-minute curling down. That would give us some type of direction. One thing I wanted to point out was the fact that Apple was showing weakness. That weakness is coming in. We'll see if that continues to play out. We have not curled down the 2-hour chart yet. That would say that Apple does have time to pull back, maybe go retest 225.84 according to these signals. Now, if Nvidia comes out with good earnings and that affects this and this is able to turn back up into positive territory, it's just that. So we could carve out some kind of little bottom and try to head to the upside. This is not outside of a weekly expected move. One more move higher would be most likely outside of a weekly expected move for Apple. Now, it's always good to check on Nvidia, which is stating, hey, I can test this high, I can go make a new one with the earnings. That's what's overall being said here with the signals. So from this signal right here, we see, hey, simple swing trade signal is performing there. We're just not seeing it across the board. Microsoft was one that I kind of liked, but that one hasn't curled up yet. The 30-minute signal here was pretty decent. Meta getting that bundle in here, getting those flat touches down here, and then rejecting off of it. So very good there. We will see if that can take back the 5-day moving average. That's where this 2-hour bar has to be a pretty strong one. We could just see that swing trade to the upside. Just know Nvidia earnings can funk with pretty much everything going on out there. As it stands, volatility on the 30-minute did curl back up into positive territory here. So we could be in that next move higher still. We see on this entire move, we've seen one little blip and then we're going positive at this moment. We'll see if that holds. We'll see if we go create a reversal signal and maybe the SPY does the same thing at the same time. That will really help us out. Looking forward though, I think it's important to just pay attention to these indices, make sure we find the direction here, make sure we're paying attention to momentum in here, and maybe that can help us out going forward as far as if Nvidia is not going to beat us up too much. DJT seeing a little bit of a run here, just a little bit of one. We see DJT with this little upward move. You can see that would cross up maybe the 15-minute if that's able to hold. We'll see if another move is left in this. The 30-minute did curl down, suggesting, hey, most likely DJT does have to pull down to lower prices. We'll see if that actually happens as that's flipping right back around. If this just flips back to positive, hey, this thing might be on again. All of this might be some kind of quick retest of this area. All right, looks like we're opening up. We'll see what happens with DJT throughout the day. I think it's important to first watch the SPY as we are testing that 5-day moving average, trying to take it back right now, early on in the day. Good morning. Thank you so much for leaving a like on the channel as you join the live stream. More and more people, we should try to get to 10K by Christmas. That would be a great goal of mine. That would be a great feat. This channel was created in August of 2023 was when we put out our first video. And since then we have seen growth because of you guys. So thank you so much. I'm just trying to be helpful in some way. And I hope that I continue to be helpful. But liking the channel, trying to get to 10K by Christmas, that would be a great little Christmas present there. And it's completely free. Now, one thing we did notice was Mara was one that we were talking about. I actually really like this level. I really like this signal at this point. We see that curled up and we see that we're taking back the 5. So Mara still proving to be some positivity. We'll see if that 2-hour can curl up into positive territory. That would be a big deal. Looks like that is trying to happen right now. We'll see also if we need to reload for some buyers, then you're going to see this 30-minute reject from that 5. Maybe carve out a higher low, maybe go down and test that low, go take out some stops down here, make it another point of divergence, and then curl up into positive territory. That would be fantastic. But right now you're just seeing positivity, so great stuff. GME did some good stuff early on, or actually later on in the day. We just saw that good burst higher. We're seeing that move to the upside even more right now. We'll keep paying attention to this. In order to see something crazy, you got to get through 3104. You have, I believe, curled up an hourly, but the 2 hour is the one that I really want to pay attention to. You are noticing the RSI is above the center line. You're noticing that the price action's above all the moving averages, which is 2 of the indications that GME is going to see the move higher. You just want to pay attention to if that fails. And the reason you have to pay attention to it failing is just because the MACD hasn't curled up yet. It doesn't mean I can't make a decision yesterday. It just means I need to make sure this 30-minute does not curl down, because that can really, really be risky to the downside, especially as AMC has not necessarily shown the same positivity. Maybe it does today, right? Curls up this 2 hour. But if it doesn't curl up today, you run the risk of curling down that daily MACD. And that's a big problem. That's a shift in momentum. So you really want AMC to have a good day today. All right, let me say good morning to you guys. Let's see who's in the chat today. Maurice, watching that 10K for you. What are your thoughts on straddle options since we're so close to the center? I mean, I think it could be like almost a good way to hedge throughout the week. Almost a good way to be like, okay, I can kind of play both sides. And then if you can get, that's the problem though, if you experience a big gap with a straddle, you can experience a problem with one side. But you would hope the other side makes you more than what you're going to possibly not even be able to sell it for. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not big on straddles. I like to just see a good signal, play the signal, manage the trade, be done with it, right? I keep it very simple. Give us a hump day winner. Well, I think your hump day winner from yesterday is actually Mara. You see Mara? So I actually took this play, and then I was waiting for this to curl up on the 15-minute. You notice what's happening now? Well, that 15-minute is curling back up, right? So if this completes in 11 minutes, I have a trade set up here. It is suggesting that this 2 hour is going to confirm if that 15-minute turns up. 30-minute rotates down, we could reload. So that's why I'm going to wait for the full bar here if I want to make a decision. But very, very good. Took some profit towards the 5-day moving average just in case we reject, and then I can get back into the play if this bar completes in about, what is that, 10 minutes? Well, will Bitcoin pull back? Well, Bitcoin, you got to be careful. Okay, you got to be careful with something like Bitcoin. Spread out those time frames. Look at the 4 hour. This is the big one. Okay, this is going to be your big signal here. We notice that on the daily scale, you are just climbing and climbing and climbing. So once you see a 4 hour divergence pop up, you got to be paying attention to it for that bigger pullback, right? That trap maybe. So does this mean bad things for Bitcoin? No, this means good things for Bitcoin. This is what I was talking to my friend about. We crossed up, we confirmed the move higher as of right now. And we can see that project all the way to 100K. Like you can still see this RSI is not overbought. You can see some kind of bigger move, but any time that that rolls down on this MACD, right? If we roll down on that MACD, just watch out because that will be weakness in momentum, and that daily really looks like it's needing a pullback. This is why we're going to add to the course like, hey, you know, when do I pay attention to a stock for these things, for these reversals, for whatever? And we'll talk about that with the in the course down in the description, the technical analysis course. I'm going to add it to there because I think it's good to tell people like what to look for first when you're looking for a stock that potentially has a good move in it and you're looking for those reversal signals, especially if it's like a swing, right? That's why we're really looking for those swings higher, because that's the real good opportunity if you see a reversal in a bullish trend before a swing trade happens. But yeah, I'd just be weary. Bitcoin, it can see a pullback here on the daily scale. You can easily end up back down towards these levels to retest something like 72,000 if this really wants to get ugly. If it just holds, that's great. And then you see those little reversals on the 4 hour and 2 hour, and then you curl up into positive territory. Fantastic. But if this is going to be a little bit more dramatic, some kind of fall, 72K is where I'm really paying attention. See if that can curl back up. I'm still talking about this going higher though at this moment. But you see how we could add up to some kind of bigger corrective move that everyone gives up on it, and then it just curls up into positive territory, and that could happen in the market as well. Yeah. We can see early on, we are noticing that we're not able to hold that 5. Watch if that 30-minute does curl down. That will be an inclination that we are going to end up going to the downside. We'll see if that can curl down. That would confirm, hey, we're most likely heading to 584.10. Tesla is very, very interesting. You're kind of wondering, are you waiting for that 5 to catch up and then you're just going to break through with the 2 hour? But also the 30 minutes turned down right now. So this could still have more time. This could go fill a gap and turn around. The problem with filling a gap though is the 2 hour here. 2 hour crossed up. So if you go do that, if you go fill that gap and it's not really, really fast, you can curl down this 2 hour, and that's kind of a problem because now you have that set as almost a lower high. So if you take out this low, you're really saying like, yeah, I'm setting up that series of lower highs now with a new low. So that's the only problem I have with it at this point. If it makes a reversal signal, we'll see. But at this moment, this is the thing I'm paying attention to because it's very tight. But that is curled up in positive territory, so anytime that 30-minute does want to curl up, even if this curls down, it won't be negative just yet. So if that goes down like this and curls right back up, hey, awesome, this is still a curl up in positive territory. If it starts to go negative, well, then that's when you usually test the low, go make a new one, and then you would have a series of lower lows. Thoughts on VIX in relation to Bitcoin? I would have to research that a little bit more. I've never really looked at it that way just because VIX, I really want to pay attention to the fact that this follows the SPY, right? Sometimes Bitcoin can make moves before the SPY, sometimes after the SPY. So that's something I could look into though, Jackal. I need something to research for today. I've been nerdy as hell. I've been nerdy. But I still think the signals are saying after a corrective move, maybe after all this Nvidia earnings is out of the way, we could see that corrective move that's kind of like takes people by surprise, and then we end up getting a Christmas rally. As long as we don't curl down like weekly charts really, really hard, I'm pretty much like, yeah, I think the Christmas rally does take place, but we see the escalation happening with Russia. We see all kinds of stuff that could still be happening. But volatility and, well, you can take it like this. I mean, you saw a volatility signal. So the first thing you can do is look at, okay, when did volatility last come in? Well, it came in, it actually broke to the upside, probably right here. So on Thursday, November 14th, then you can go over to Bitcoin real quick and just say, okay, November 14th, what was happening on November 14th? And you see a little bit came in, but not quite, not much. So you could say, like, am I going to really be able to read into volatility and read into Bitcoin at the same time? No, but I can read into the SPY. And most of the time, if the SPY is going to see weakness, well, Bitcoin's either already showing it or about to. So we'll find out. I mean, I can look at it throughout the day and then get back to you. But thank you for the donation. Really appreciate the $5, Jackal. Good morning. What about silver? Silver might get a reaction because we talked about these moves coming outside of monthlies. By the way, gold came outside of a monthly, took it all back recently. So that was very cool. Now, silver actually holding its level. Gold did not, so you have to be aware this could be some kind of head and shoulders at the end of the day. Which just tells me, what did we form here to see this? Well, we formed a bunch of divergence, right? That was very, very obvious divergence for this drop. Didn't really have divergence at the low, just curled up. Awesome. But you see the weakness. So what I'm going to pay attention to is if we can go higher, see that weakness form, and then that would tell me that this is a higher likelihood of being some kind of right shoulder. But yeah, that's what I'd say for silver. It still is basing out though. You can see how this is tapering off. You can see how that MACD is starting to point up. You can see how the RSI from this point over here has been pointing up. So this reaction does make some sense. You think SPY curls up around 10 a.m.? We shall see. A lot can happen before 10 a.m., but we'll see. We really just want to be looking at this 30-minute, and if that crosses, we head to the downside, and then we head down in these areas. Watch out if that turns around, because you might be right around 10 a.m. I don't know what time zone you're in, but I think 10 a.m. my time would make some sense, right? Sell off for an hour and a half, curl down on this MACD a little bit, get below that daily expected move, curl back up into positive territory, and we got a trade set up. And it's just like this, right? Right now, it's just like this. What you're talking about now is that good news didn't come in just yet, so maybe it reloads one more time, right? So instead of seeing that pop higher, and Chetty, thank you so much for subscribing, but instead of really just making that move higher, because you got to curl down over here, that's a big deal. This was just a quick double bottom. So this is like if this rolled down one time like that, and then you see this. So we could see that same thing right here, right? So we're looking for this, right? These don't have to be exactly the same. So we're still paying attention to the signals. Right now you're seeing some downside, so that's important to pay attention. And we'll just see, hey, do we get, 2 hours worth of selling that shows this? That's all we need to see. And then we have the reversal signal. You have it right now, it's just you didn't confirm up the 2 hour. You didn't confirm that up, that's rejecting. So you see here, we just cleanly curled up that 2 hour, boom. So we're not doing that this time. Trading like water, baby. The market's moving because of Target. Well, and yeah, technicals would more say the market's moving down because we reacted to the 5 and we're rejecting off of that. And if we curl down this MACD, then we're going to test these lows, maybe even go make a slight new one. And then we'll have to find out if that is going to create a reversal signal or if that's just going to get ugly, right? It can just get ugly. Qs, we can see that also is showing some weakness here. I do want to see if that MACD is crossed over. Not just yet, a little bit more. Remember the Qs did not go test these lows. It tried to make the higher low, just like the last time, right? We tried to make the higher low, but you're noticing that, ooh, this breakout was a little bit lackluster. You really wanted to take back the 5. We're just seeing a drop, reacting to the 5, and then if resistance is going to come in, we're going to see this cross, maybe head to the downside, and then we'll see if this can curl up by end of day. Nvidia earnings after hours will make things very interesting. Good morning, Martin. How you doing this morning? Hope everyone's doing good. Looks like Apple not showing that weakness anymore. Well, ooh, that's sneaky. If this ends up heading to the downside, that is very, very sneaky. Nvidia seeing a little bit more dramatic pullback at this moment. Where does it react to and get some support? Right off the 5. So we can still see if that 30-minute is able to curl down. This is a little bit more positive. So Nvidia actually has the opportunity to make that right, sorry, not that right shoulder, that higher low. That higher low would be very interesting. We'll see what happens with that going forward. AMD, we're just noticing, still trying to curl up. Ooh, failing, trying to curl down. Relatively controlled though. Relatively controlled in here. Just tells me, hey, watch out just in case that needs a stronger base, just because, and Onda, thank you for pointing it out, but we were talking about the fact that the MACD has the divergence, the RSI does not. So that means maybe we need to reload first before we can see some positivity. And I wanted to look at some stuff for you guys. I was looking at a lot of the short selling going on yesterday, the short sale volumes. And it was kind of insane. It's like every stock that competes with Nvidia in some way has some short selling in it. So what was it? Let's see. Let's see like if this one does. It's like those little ones that retail investors like and talk about all the time. Those are the ones that are seeing a bunch of short selling right now, right before the earnings. Oh, okay. One thing to pay attention to is the fact that DJT is seeing a great upside move and curling back up that 30-minute. That's important. If that can hold like that, it would suggest you're still positive. You have the opportunity to go negative, and 30 minutes can remain you have the ability to go overbought. Sorry about that. And the 30-minute can remain overbought for a while. The 2-hour has curled up with divergences. The 30-minute had divergence. The only thing you don't have here is the daily crossing up just yet. We'll see if that can happen soon, but this is when you want to start to pay attention to a stock, right? We get one big move up and you go, oh, I missed out on that one. When's the next time to start looking for those divergences? Well, when this daily gets by that center line. All right, we're going to talk more about that in the video I'm going to make for the course. I'm going to try to get that out by tomorrow afternoon. So if you already have the course, that means you'll get that video completely, with no extra charge. I'm not going to say free because you paid for the course, but yeah, you'll get that at no upcharge. So we will update that for you. Very good look. We'll see if that can cross up. Need the 30-minute to turn up into positive territory. You might have yourself a run. I really thought the 30-minute didn't curl down here, but it did curl down briefly. See if that thing can curl back up. Palantir, a little bit worried about this one now. If this starts to lose this level, this would not look the best. It looks like some kind of consolidation head down. I won't really call it a head and shoulders. I'll just say if that 30-minute curls down, where is it? It's right next to that center line. So all this could be building. Now you're getting tight. If you see that reaction, watch out if you break this because a weekly expected move is at this low right here. And if we break that, you can see something crazy to the downside. We want to pay attention to, obviously, if we're seeing buying back up from those areas, but when I was looking at it was Netflix, just like, look at Netflix. Look at this thing. That's so crazy to me. Look at the daily scale. Look how wild this is on your RSI. You got an 8063, and then you have, look at that MACD. I don't think this MACD's ever been this high. This MACD's never been this high. And it's right before a huge event like Nvidia. It really freaks me the frick out. And 2 hours showing divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD at the same time, but I just want to show, that's just crazy. Go check on Amazon real quick, because Amazon's seeing that 30-minute try to dip down here. Amazon had the initial rejection divergence. I don't like taking rejection divergence too often. I like to see, oh, is there another trap left? And there might be one more trap left like this. If we can hold that tapering, I might even draw up a line here just to see if we do. Just kind of connect these lows. Let's make that a little smaller. All right, let's see if we can connect down to that level. Would that take you outside of a weekly expected move? Let me go check on Amazon real quick, because I'm pretty sure it wouldn't. I mean, you can end up out of a weekly expected move if it's drawn out, but at this moment, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Looks like a level of, let me see what level could become important here. 199.50, 200, those are important. The bottom of that would be 198.78 for Amazon. But so far, you would say, hey, this looks a lot more like rejection than absolute positivity like the last time. So we just got to see if these things curl. I'm going to click around on some other charts just to see if we're getting a hint anywhere. WM holding, DIA. DIA is the one, hasn't looked the strongest. Apple, just liquidity grab, that sucks for someone. Ooh, Nvidia is selling. Meta reacting poorly off of the 5-day moving average. Microsoft really turning down from the 5-day moving average. Google actually retook the 5-day moving average, now is curling down. Google might set up a higher low. It's just a little bit higher up. Palantir might confirm the move down. Gold is outside of a weekly expected move, but it's back in its monthly expected move. DJT is still holding that positivity. SMCI, ooh, most likely that is outside of a weekly expected move, but SMCI should just be a 30-minute pullback. That's going to be more drawn out than you're going to see that on the 2-hour. All right, let's see. Mara's just strong there. I love that divergence too. They're overall talking about Target right now. And they're talking about Williams Sonoma. Bam, look at that thing. 2-hour divergence at the low, one more dip down, curled up, positive territory was gained, boom to the upside, but earnings. Mara up 10% now, 11%, very good. One that I was doing a lot of studying on before and why I was just like interested in was, I know people mentioned Wolf. I actually like the 30-minute signal here. This is one I might take with my fun account. I actually like the 30-minute signal here. It's right before Nvidia earnings. They're short selling the crap out of it. I don't get why, but when it's just going straight down, it's like they're scared of something. Let's see what they did. See if that came back down. No, it actually went up higher. So even as the stock is going down, they're seriously short selling this stock. 4.2 million yesterday. So I'm doing more research with this, but this is something I'm paying attention to. It's like they're fearful that this thing's going to pop in some way. Maybe it's all just to damper the stock even more, but I think they just got rid of a CEO too. I'm more just paying attention to the fact that they're short selling the crap out of it. All right, let me hop back into the chat here in a moment. Gonna look at a different chart over here. All right. All right. IonQ as well. That was another one. IonQ was one that they're short selling the crap out of this thing. So I'd be very cautious with this. Now, my dad likes this stock. Okay, so I talked to him about it a little bit yesterday. I just sent him a couple messages just saying, well, one, he was asking me about it here. And I said, put a stop here because they're probably going to, he's like, I'm going to put my stop down at this level. And I said, well, they're probably going to, you see a bunch of diversions. I'm like, they're probably going to, if they want this to go higher, they're probably going to shoot down, take out some stops, and then make it go to the upside. And he called me after this happened because he was like, holy crap, it shot down. He's like, I should have done what you said and then had my buy order placed down there. I was like, yeah, but you don't have time to stare at it all day, right? So we are still in an area where we can experience weakness, but you will notice that this 2-hour looks like it wants to curl up. So IonQ could see more positivity. It is being short sold like crazy. If you guys want me to show you, I'll show it to you. I'll actually show you what they're doing. IonQ is just getting short sold to oblivion. It's kind of insane how much they're short selling. It's the most they've ever done. If this would scale up again, I think that shows they're more fearful. When this scales down, I would say more so it looks like, okay, they might have goal achieved, right? But you'll notice that yesterday, or Monday, was the highest this thing was ever short sold. So I just think that's interesting, and I'm going to look further into that for other stocks too. Do you have any opinions on Oxy? We were bullish on Oxy from these levels as far as an investment goes, because it was giving you 2-hour divergences at the lows down in here. You're still holding that level. And then the other thing was the daily scale gave you divergence as well. This is pretty much a golden setup, and it's really bottling up. You notice it's really bottling up. So that's a good thing. Now, what we can notice is in order for this to be probably a good investment, you at least need a weekly to turn up. You do have signals of that happening. Okay, now does this mean it's some kind of great investment for a long time? That's debatable. It does mean that it can see a weekly reaction. Something different can happen than this little straight pull down. Okay, something different can happen. That's what the signals are telling us now. Where could that go to? I have a couple levels marked off, 59.64, 61.17, where I think that could reload, and then maybe we turn up one more time. But you do have good signals for Oxy. I haven't gotten any connectivity warnings or anything like that. So maybe just reload the page real quick, max effort, or put it on 720. Change that res. Palantir is another one that is just skying. And so I really think we're going to get a solid pullback for Palantir. I really like these levels in here of 40 or right around 40, this little block in here. I do like it because it matches that high. It would kind of be a retest of the breakout area. So I would like that. But this is something that I go, I'm not touching this to the upside, right? This is just like, I mean, it can make those little upward moves. If it gives a great 2-hour pullback, then I will look at it, right? If we can really base out, really get by that center line. But the problem with the 2-hour is you have straight down divergence here, price action heading up, straight down divergence here. You keep testing the weekly expected move. It's kind of a problem. It tells us that the daily can cross down soon, and you're starting to see a little bit of weakness. Okay, you're starting to see it. Once you lose that little moving average there, you might be crossing on this MACD. And we're just talking about pullback. We're just talking about pullback for the most part. You can see that level in here, that block in here looks pretty damn important. So we'll see if that can get by the center line, curl up into positive territory, because there's no major reversal signals. It's just this is a rapid upward move, so you can see some selling come in a little bit faster. Obviously, if that holds up, we're pretty much just like, once that gets to the center line, look for the swing trade. Look for those little 2-hour signals in there to see if that's basing out for a hint to get in earlier, right? So I'm not overly bearish on Palantir. I just think it needs some kind of daily consolidation or daily pullback. Yeah, we talked about MSTR. And the thing about this is the same thing, right? You're seeing this from a lot. And the thing is, you're seeing this from Microstrategy and other stocks like even IonQ. You're seeing a lot of them on the daily scale just go nuts before Nvidia earnings. And it's kind of like what's going on here, because one, you have a lot of these stocks are being short sold. And then you have two, what the hell's going to go on with Nvidia earnings? Why are they short selling the crap out of it? It's because they think that that maybe Nvidia is going to, there's two ways to look at it, I think. It's either they want Nvidia earnings to be good, so they're going to damper some of these stocks and they're expecting them to outflow out of these and go into Nvidia, or they're short selling the crap out of them so people don't invest in them and they pop off because Nvidia is about to get bad earnings. There's kind of two ways to look at it, but either way, it just lines up to, can I figure that out before the earnings? Probably not. There's probably not a good way to figure that out before the earnings. So the best thing to do is just say, hey, let the market do whatever the market wants to do. And if it gives me the opportunity, then I'll take it. If it gives me that opportunity, then I'll take it. If it gives me the opportunity, then I will take it. Right? That's the better way to think about these things, in my opinion. Just more, where's the opportunity? Less, hey, what's going to happen with Nvidia earnings? Right? I don't think Nvidia earnings is a great opportunity just yet. If I see a signal from the SPY might suggest it. Let me look over at this real quick. Not a good bar, trying to hold up. Hasn't curled down yet. Okay, Google, that's a pretty good drop back below the 5 and cross on the MACD for Google. At the weekly expected move. Very, very cool. You don't believe in these weekly expected moves? You should get them for on Patreon because, uh-oh, Google just hit one. And it drops off immediately with a little 15-minute divergence at the end there, just on the RSI. So most likely this is some kind of pullback. We'll see. All right, Amazon seeing a pretty good drop here. Amazon trying to curl over on that 30-minute as of now. As of now, I don't think it'll be able to get to a weekly expected move if you're going to see that reversal. I'd more so be paying attention to if it holds this tapering or even holds up a little bit better, right? If it can hold up a little bit better and really taper off, that would be fantastic. But you're just noticing right now, this bar right now is very important because that says, hey, higher probability to do this. So that can really hurt me if I'm saying, oh, this needs to go like that, if my trade's saying that. Oof, yeah, Palantir trying to do the same thing right now. Oof. Just really looks like it wants to go for one more 2-hour curl up, doesn't it? It's still not negative. This was kind of just a blip, so if we want to go make another blip or something like that, that would be interesting. Use this as a base, see it head up, come back down, see that. We'll find out. I think a daily pullback is likely here. I think before you make any big thing like that, you'll probably see a daily pullback, but market's going to do what market wants to do. I just look for opportunities. Tesla 30-minute still curling down. Nvidia actually went back, or sorry, Apple actually went back to negative. Went back to negative there. See if the 2-hour can cross from this. Hopefully, if it's brief, then we don't have to cross that 2-hour. So now we're just going to click over to the SPY. We're going to sit here. We're going to look at that daily expected move and say, okay, once that goes past that daily expected move, we look for the opportunities and then see if they're turning back around. Yeah, Prabs, I mean, the Qs are very similar to the SPY. You didn't see the double bottom. You're seeing a very similar thing to over here, which is what we've been pointing out for a while now. Pretty much all weekend, we were talking about setting up that same thing over here. That tried to happen. The only difference is this time you took back the 5. This time you're rejecting off of the 5. Very good rejection. Now you're heading into a buy zone. So what can happen here is that 30-minute can cross. We can remain crossed for a while, trickle down any time. That turns back up, though, I'll want to be aware because that's going to be close to the center line if it is going to turn up, right? I have to see that actually turn up. I'm not just going to take a play because I think it's going to happen. There is still the opportunity that this just falls through the floor, right? But I'm hoping that this just goes like this and then goes like that. I see something simple. I go like this. I go like that. I see something simple, and I can make a decision. It's a little scary to take plays into Nvidia earnings because it's such a big stock. So we'll see if I actually take it. This is on the 30-minute. And then the 2-hour curl up is what you're looking for. The 2-hour curl up, and you notice that rejected. That rejected now. So that means maybe it reaches down for some buyers first. Yeah, the staircase one, this is a 5-day. This is a 5-day. So what you'll see is during big drops, you always react to the 5-day. That's why I really like having it. And when you retake it, you can see good things. So usually if you see any kind of uptrend and it's a good move, you take back the 5, you see the good move, you gravitate towards the 5 again, you see a good move, you see a good move. Oh, we lost it for a bit. We see some reversal signals and boom to the upside. So in this move, you didn't even test the 5. Very, very cool. But you see this big drop, we react to the 5, big drop again. So we're paying attention to the right thing. It's just, if you want to get that on your chart, we can show you how to do that because it is very useful. It's good. It's useful in seeing like an area where I should be paying attention. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is going to here and the 5 days here. Well, if the 5-day can catch up, I want to pay attention anytime we're touching that. And so as we did this, I go, okay, are we taking back the 5 or are we going to reject? And then I can say in my video at night, hey, we haven't taken back the 5. So we still have to be aware. And that's why I posted to Patreon, hey, this looks like it's basing out just like last time. But remember, the 2-hour curled up last time. This time it did not. This time it did not. So we could still reject off the 5, right? That was kind of the post we put out on Patreon yesterday. Just reminding people, I know this looks like we're basing out, but we still need to be a little bit patient. For Tesla, I'd really look at the gap fill. I think the gap fill for Tesla could come into play. That's the first area I really want to pay attention, is right here and right here. This is the little area I want to pay attention to. Now, why would I be paying attention to that area? Well, if you look in the past, we just see what? If we go look at the past, we see, oh, we gapped around this area. Where did we gap? Right here. If you just look at my dotted white line across, where does that lead us to? Oh, we gapped up from right there. All right, was this within that gap? Yes, it was. So this area right here, I know is some pretty damn good support, right? I can just draw myself a little line across if I want and say, hey, that's probably the beginning of my zone. The end of my zone, I'll probably take the bottom of the wick just to make the zone nice and a little bit bigger. And then if we dip down into that, I could see if buyers step in and curl that up into positive territory for the next move higher for Tesla. If we lose that zone, then you're most likely doing what? You're curling down on the 2-hour, you're going to test the low, go make a new one. Cool stuff. IWM really breaking down here. We'll see if that can curl down on the 30-minute chart. SPY really trying to do it and getting there pretty quick, so we'll see what happens. Palantir seeing some drop. We've got Mara just gave up its little 10% there. Netflix actually flipping to negative now. And notice the 30-minute for Netflix. It's not overly bearish. You're holding the divergence points. That was a terrible, terrible drawing. I'm not an artist. That's my wife. You can see this. We're very flat, though. So most likely, what do we need to do? Maybe we just reconnect with that 5, we turn back up, and we create a real divergence here. Because Netflix just been going up and up and up, so you're going to see tons and tons of 30-minute divergences that just constantly get violated. So once that happens a couple times, you go, okay, let me spread out these moving. Let me spread this out. Look at the daily. Okay, wait for the daily pullback and wait for the opportunity, right? But the 30-minute here looks like that could back off just for a little bit. You are holding divergences, and it's not on the MACD at the same time. So the likelihood that this has another curl up left in it, pretty high. I think paying attention to the SPY, though, is very important as we are seeing this thing drop. And then I'm going to go like this. Like, there it is. Like this, and I'll see when, if that reversal does form. I'll try to let you guys know. I'll keep the SPY up over here on the shorter time frames. Very good. Microsoft might be the first one to try to create that opportunity. Google lower high, or higher low, sorry, god dang it, I keep fucking that up. Nvidia higher low, that would make sense. Amazon and Microsoft are two that I would be watching out for. If I see this for Microsoft and this is going to be pretty tight, well, I can kind of do this, maybe go like that. See where this low came in, see where these lows are coming in, and go, okay, if we get down to these levels and I see that this is basing out, I see that that 30-minute curls back up, that could be the next move higher. If it's going to keep going lower, you're not going to see this 30-minute curl back up. And then you still have to watch out for Nvidia earnings. Nvidia earnings can really mess up all these stocks. Amazon's another one. Just seeing from Amazon reaching down to those lower levels, curling over on the MACD. We'll see if that is able to base out in this area and then head to the upside. So Amazon, Microsoft, Might click around a little. Google, I think, just gets the pullback, right? Google's more of just like a pullback at this point. It's a big pullback, but it's a little bit more positive, so I have to be aware that this can just whip back up. Palantir going down towards the lows again, breaking through. If it breaks through this low right here, I'm not happy for Palantir. I'm a little bit worried about it. But by the end of the week, it does say it should bounce. Qs, we're seeing some dramatic stuff there, curling down pretty deep at this moment. We'll see if that can continue. Maybe get down to these levels, wait for the opportunity. SPY seeing something as we touch our little buy zone. Oh, baby girl is not happy about something. She's got like what? She's got 4 teeth out and 2 more growing in right now. I'm like, jeez, girl. Cheese and rice. Yeah, let's see what all right, SPY trying to catch something here. Usually we'll at least make some kind of little signal on a shorter time frame. So this could be consolidative to then drop one more time. We'll see. We're so close to it that not touching it would be very interesting, but we are going to our zone. You notice buy up from the zone, buy up from the zone. What's going to happen here? Could be a buy up from the zone. Dang, GameStop's still holding that, huh? AMC curled that eye, but GameStop's still doing it. See if that 2-hour can turn up. Ooh, got faded a little bit there. You know Mama's struggling when she starts singing. Turned off your VPN and it stopped. Yeah, VPNs can mess with stuff sometimes. Little Jack Daniels. Just give her a little Jack Daniels cube. Vix 2-hour, thank you for making me pay attention to the Vix for a moment here. Whoa, that is a move and a half. So that's a little bit more than we expected. Okay, so now we got to get rid of some stuff and look here. Because this could be a lot different. Because if that daily is going to whip up, ooh, this is not a good thing. That daily whipping up is a rough sign. That means volatility might come in for a few days. If that holds like that by end of day, I'd be a little bit cautious. You are now seeing those divergences get violated. Thank you for helping me out with watching this. You can notice that the 2-hour, ooh, turn back up. Oh my goodness, that is a move from volatility. Is that an overreaction? Did the SPY drop off that hard? I mean, technically, yeah, but I'm still wondering. I'm thinking, I'll think about it. If I did, it would be a longer out option play, but daily curl up. That is wild. I'm still going to look for the signals here, right? We do have the daily that has crossed for the SPY. So it would make sense to go deeper, right? We talked about that over the weekend, it being able to get down to these areas. But it's still positive. You don't really have the best divergence in the near price action, right? You could say you have it all the way across. I wouldn't like hate on you for it, but the main signal we want to watch is the weekly scale. If the weekly starts to roll, then we got to watch out. Okay, so that's how today is very important, because if we decide that down is the direction and we end up closing down in here by the end of the week, that's a big problem, because then you're crossing over the MACD, and all this might just be another rigged move higher to get you trapped for a while. Then you could be in a weekly pullback where that kind of fondles around for a while, then tries to turn back up, right? We could be in something like this area here. So we'll see. And if that turns down, that is a pretty damn big signal. Volatility. Yeah, you see how the weekly would turn up on volatility at the same time. So the daily turning up here, it makes sense because the daily on the SPY has turned down. I just don't know if there's like, I want to pay attention every single time this happens. Right, I want to pay attention every single time this curls up on the daily, because usually that produces more volatility. But I want you to see how sometimes when you curl up, you see that start to drop off right away. So something we'll look for is if we're creating that strong base for the SPY. We're still going to pay attention to the same things right now. It's just hard to take a big volatility play when such a big stock has the earnings. That won't look good on the charts for MU. For Micron, this is very controlled. First off, you're trying to show some kind of structure to head higher, but you're rejecting off the 5. If that 30-minute curls down, great little divergence to tell you that was going to at least move sideways and up. Now you're reacting to the 5. Notice that again, and where is the MACD? It's really close to the center line, so watch out. The opportunity could be there. It just might be a little bit down towards these levels. They take out some stops, and then they whip this thing back around. We'll see. Just make sure to pay attention to if it is actually confirming, because this does show that this can go into a negative trend. That's bad. If it turns back around pretty quick, that would be good for Micron to possibly take back the 5-day and then end up going into a positive trend. Positive trend. Well, we've done Palantir a bunch of times. The thing you need to understand is this thing is absolutely skyrocketing to the upside lately, and the daily will pull back eventually, and that's the real opportunity. If you really zoom out on it, you go, hey, is this a great opportunity right now? It could make a move higher, but eventually that thing's going to see a pretty rigorous pullback. And you do have topping out signals on the 30-minute here that led to this, touched a weekly expected move. If this in some way is consolidation to head down, I'd be cautious if we start to lose this low. You don't have reversal signals that will pop up for you on this short time frame if you start to lose this low right here. So you'll notice that on the 2-hour, what do you have as well? You have divergence, which is telling you that the daily pullback could be very, very soon. It could be like now. Could be like now. Which then you look at Palantir and you go, why is volatility popping off? And hey, a daily pullback could happen now. Well, unless Nvidia saves it. That seems like, I mean, obviously it's buyers that save it, but Nvidia earnings will have to be seen as good news. How do you figure out expected moves? You can look up the calculation. You just use the options data, use the closing price. You can't, I wouldn't do it during market hours. Usually I do it an hour after market close. You just need the price and implied volatility for a certain contract and price and an expiration date. You can look up the calculation. It's just, it sounds easy. And maybe someone, with a better brain than me can click easier. But it was hard for me to figure out like which implied volatility to use, what to do this with, which one works the best. And so over time, though, I've really got it down to something I really trust as far as how I get the implied volatility and all those things. But we teach you a very easy way, Ricardo, to do it way easier in the course, the technical analysis course, when we talk about weekly ranges and what they are, why they're important, all those things. We also teach you a simple way to make them. It's not the most accurate, so it will be a little off, but I've used them before and it's worked. And you can use any trading platform to get them. I just use my fun account to show you. Insider selling isn't helping. Yeah, that's for sure. The CEO's like, our stock is strong. That's why I'm selling it. QQQ 592, a pretty damn big level. QQQ 492? 492 a big level. Right now, my big level is 495.70, right? That's the level I want to pay attention to. 492 can be a big level. We can see if we use the annual expected move for the Qs as support. We're kind of just, it's my first time making one of these, and I just want to see how the market behaves around it. Yeah, Ricardo. Of course. Yeah, so but you can literally look up like, how do I calculate expected moves using options data? It's just, there is a learning curve to it. It took me a while to figure out the best things to use. Hey, that's kind of sick, Luke. Yo, send me that script. I want to check it out, if you don't mind. I want to check that out. That's dope. Crashing, I mean, there's some validity to saying that a little bit, but if we're still in the same buy area, if we're not breaking through this buy area, then I'm not going to say, you know, it's pretty much, if we're breaking through the buy area, we have more buy areas below us, right? We're just getting to the top of it. We have not lost, like, all you're doing is you have not lost it. If they really want to fake out technical traders, wouldn't they do this? Wouldn't they do this? They do this. And then what I would be more worried about is if we don't create that divergence down here before we bounce. I would be more worried about if we came down to here, reacted up, and then reacted back down. Because then you have a mini head and shoulders in here, and you have the cup and handle at the same time. That can really produce some volatility. And volatility is turning up on the daily scale. It might be getting rid of that. Yeah, it's getting rid of the cross up. Well, it's getting rid of the cross up, but I don't see the major reversal signals for even a bigger pullback on the daily scale just yet. So I think we might have one more upward move, get people euphoric above 649. I think that's definitely possible. Oh boy, let me chug some coffee. Just being nice and patient. Wait, for real, Salty Pirate? And why are you so salty? You've been sweating? Okay, Ethereum Grayscale Mini Trust up 900%. You know, I wish I had another person here to analyze things with me, who had the same brain as me, to give me a back and forth during my day. Because I keep looking at things and I go, well, what's the collateral for these AMC GME stuff? And I know it's just speculative, but it's like every single piece of collateral before Nvidia earnings is pretty much up. Every single one. You've got potentially Netflix could be a collateral. You've got potentially Nvidia going up towards its all-time highs, and maybe it sees an upward move after earnings, making that collateral good. You've got Bitcoin. You've got all kinds of things heading to the upside. Ethereum's struggling a little bit still. Oh, that's a 30-minute chart. I wonder if Ethereum is doing something. Really bundling up. Curling down on the daily, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign, as you're kind of flaggy in this. Look at a 4-hour. Not very good flagging there, but you're getting real tight. Is that going to be an ABC move down, give you that daily pullback? And then you're like, oh, these are about to sell off. And it's like, well, what are they going to do? What's going to happen? So I'll try to read into it more, but it's just interesting that all of this is happening before Nvidia earnings, seeing major short selling on certain stocks before Nvidia earnings. It's like, what are they afraid of in my head? I'm just like, what are they afraid of? Yeah, yeah, my support level. Well, I think Tesla's doing, I think it's still dipping down. I mean, the 2 hours still has time. right? The 2-hour confirmed up. We got to see if that 2-hour confirms back down, because that would say, hey, lower high is pretty likely. If the 30-minute can curl back up into positive territory, we just keep in this level, right? If we just remain up here, or we can go down and fill that gap, as long as that's quick, right? We want that to be quick. You don't want that 2-hour to roll, because then you start to have reasons for downside. So you'd like to see that. But a lot of this, guys, is going to depend on Nvidia earnings. That's the bad part about today. A lot of it's going to depend on this. Just so you know, Nvidia is at a high, at a low, has a high now. Okay, is it going to dip down, cross on that MACD, and then turn up into positive territory? Pretty much like right here, you see the gap. Okay, awesome. What are we doing? Big ass cup, big ass handle. That can see some good shit. Oh yeah, I need my other charts up. Sorry, I was really reading into this for you guys. I'm gonna try to get in this pretty tight to see if we can get the timing down. TradingView froze. No! It's the worst, isn't it? Yeah, so Salty Pirate, what I was trying to get at with your comment was, we know they utilize, especially people think Ethereum is really utilized to suppress certain stocks. So the fact you're seeing a huge run like that before Nvidia earnings is interesting to me. Lucas.s.hansen with an O at gmail.com. I think it might be, is it in my about section or something? Yeah, you can see it in my about section on my channel if you want to. My about section, you just click on view email. I think you should be able to get it there. Oh, dude, TLT. Now, TLT's been wild, but an event like this will be interesting. TLT getting that reaction back down to the 5. I love this. I love the little 30-minute in here to help us out, because we didn't really have that here. So the fact that it's giving it to us kind of now, very, very good. And now we're seeing upside. It just means this trend can flip back to positive. And what are you noticing? We take back to 5, react back down to it. But this is curled down. So could you pull down below that 5 for a little bit? Yeah, but you're wanting to see if this can turn back up and continue the positive trend. And then that would be a good sign, because the daily scale does have divergence down here. So it just tells me most likely over the next 30 days, TLT will reach probably a higher price than this, probably a higher price than this, 92.50, right? That's what it's telling me. And then I got to see, the market can do a lot of things, right? But I think this level in here for sure gets tagged. If we can break through that, then you're talking about that daily probably catching some steam here. You know, a similar signal right here. Right here, except this time you have a daily divergence under it because you've built a ton of liquidity. So a reaction might be coming for TLT. It's just more, what are these bond traders going to do with their, you know, their thoughts on the new administration and stuff like that? Obviously, right now, these bond traders think, oh, this is going to be inflationary. Awesome, Lurkin Luke. I'll check that out throughout today. But yeah, what I'd really be looking for now is, does this 30-minute remain in a positive trend? If it doesn't, well, these signals here told you, hey, this could be a little risky, but I am positive. So it's saying a higher low is very likely. If this can curl up, you have confirmation of that, and then I think that's when the real positive trend starts. Still got to manage trade throughout. TLT's been very wonky for a while. Hold on one sec. That's why I like the longer dated options, though. TLT only beat me up that one day. I scaled it again, and I was able to make it back, so happy about that. Oh. Anyone else's dog shedding way too much? I mean, I know he's Husky German Shepherd, but damn! And Lab. All those dogs freaking... Just confirm previous discussion we had until now, no 30-minute divergences, thus we didn't participate in the downfall or yesterday's reversal, right? Well, it's like technically yesterday you could have, So yesterday you could have, right? We're not going to say, oh, we shouldn't have done it, right? We shouldn't have done anything here. No, this is fine. You can see rejection divergence. If you pull into like a little 15-minute, what are you going to see? You're going to see the real divergence really close to the center line. Then you say, okay, ride that up. Where did we get to? Daily expected move. Okay, if I'm someone who's trading this very tight and I see that daily expected move there, maybe if I only have a day play, okay, then I go, that's as high up as I should expect to get. We went down to a daily expected move. We went up to a daily expected move. It's a great trade, great little one. And then you just say this, I'm taking a 30-minute, technically I'm taking a 30-minute play, right? But if we were taking a 15-minute, that's a whole different story. We won't get into that. But technically, I'm taking a 30-minute play. So if this 15-minute rolls over pretty close to the center line, is that a good thing? No. So from there, I can see, did we take back the 5? Right? I can really look at this and say, like, is this proving itself as a great opportunity right now? We do have a bunch of implied volatility going into the next day. We have Nvidia earnings, so that's pretty obvious we were going to see that. So then you go, okay, this curled down. All right, so then I say, since that curled down, if that curls down and then takes back the 5, that's my time to get back in. Now, here's the thing. Did this take back the 5? No. So it wasn't like, hey, we shouldn't. I don't take plays like this. I don't like rejection divergence. I've said that so many times, it's insane. I do not like rejection divergence. I think that it can be a little wonkier, even though a lot of people think that it's stronger. A lot of people, I just have an opposite opinion. That's fine. They probably have ways to trade around it, ways to manage risk, and that's fine. So now we have seen that even that 15-minute allowed the 30-minute to cross. That's not a good sign. It means we could go into our buy zone, we could take out this low, we could go make a new one. So were we in it? Me personally, I was not in it just because I was waiting to see real confirmation from the 2-hour. Because if you really look back here, during this, when we made a similar thing, right? We were talking about over the weekend, we're looking for this right here. We see it. It's quicker, but we see it. But notice when we made that, what happened? We took back the 5 and crossed up on the MACD right there. This time we did not. So I can wait and be just patient for another couple of hours and see if that produces positivity and then say, okay, daily, weekly expected move. Right? I can really be patient. Because the 15-minute crossed, it might have convinced me, hey, this thing could turn down. We're not above the 5. So I'd say a day trader probably did well with this. I think a day trader probably did well with this. Now, do we have signals that this could turn up right now? Technically, if this would turn up into positive territory, you see that, you take back the 5, right? We can head to the upside. And we're going to curl up that 2-hour at that point. So I'm paying attention to small time frames just so I can get the timing for you guys, right? Because we're pretty deep here. One thing you do notice is at this low, we had a 5-minute. Now this is a rejection one I would have paid attention to if there was a 30-minute or 2-hour divergence behind it. But on the short time frames, you have a major rejection on this one. Major rejection on this. Okay, so that was telling us a bounce would come. This one, you did not have like any kind of anything to tell you that's going to turn around. It just did. And that's where the rejection comes in. You can pay attention if that's taking back the 5 and the 2-hour is crossing. There's a lot to it, but once you get good at it, once you really analyze for a long time and you know how you're going to manage risk, you can say, okay, I know I'm taking this. I got in based on the 15-minute, but technically I'm going to take a 30-minute play because that's a 30-minute double bottom. Okay, awesome. This reached a daily expected move. So if that reached a daily expected move, let me just be aware of how I can get hurt. I can be pretty hurt because the 15-minute, yeah, it's positive, but it's a little bit close to that center line. So if that 15-minute crosses down, we haven't really taken back the 5. So therefore, if that crosses, I might just be out. Hey, this is on some green bars. Let me wait for a red one. There's a red one. Okay, I'm going to get out. Maybe we're going to make a stronger base, and then that's going to be the real opportunity. See how quickly I'm able to really flow throughout it because I have managed trades for a long time. I've paid attention to how markets move for a long time, and if momentum is turning down and we haven't taken back the 5, there is a high likelihood for rejection. This is a lot different than how we behaved back here. Back here, I want you to notice that we curled above the 5, and then we saw that 15-minute curl down, right? You saw the 15-minute curl down. Now, where was the 15-minute when it curled down? It was more positive. This only reached a high point of 0.81. This reached a high point of 1.32. It's much more positive, and it took back the 5. And it curled up a 2-hour chart. So all of that helped me out more here. Plus, the divergence for the SPY was better here, right? You actually did have the curl down, the curl back up. So everything about this was just a little bit better than over here. It was too fast. And you heard me say that yesterday. I was like, I wish this actually happened throughout the price action to get this to cross, to show that selling come in and then make that divergence. So now we have the potential to go do that now. And you're building liquidity, right? We're building. So that's not a good thing. But you do see how these are spreading out a little bit. So maybe the next move is a good one. So I'm paying attention to really short time frames just to help you guys out with the timing. I don't really want to show that because I don't encourage it, especially if someone hasn't done this for a long time. So just in case there's people out there who haven't traded for a long time, the shorter time frames see crazy stuff, way crazier than a 30-minute. 30 minutes going to be way crazier than a daily. So those short time frames are something you want to just be a little cautious with. There it is. There's my wolf. There's my wolfie. The one that I was researching why they were short selling the crap out of this. There's your confirmation of a 30-minute signal. Skeptical on this one, right? But that is a pretty good move. 2-hour rejection divergence. Daily divergence if that thing can cross up. So you got a lot of stuff going on here. Wolf's the one that I was like, if this thing's just still heading down, why are they short selling the crap out of it before Nvidia earnings? I think they're trying to really convince people not to buy it before Nvidia earnings, which is interesting. And it's a terrible one, right? That's terrible. It's really bad. But now it finally has a good signal, and I'm practicing reading into short sale volume and seeing how it affects stocks. And this is one of my things that I was researching yesterday, and the best way for me to research is put some skin in the game. So I do have some skin in the game on this one to do my research, so I pay attention to it thoroughly. Because if I don't have skin in the game, I'll just forget about it. I must be like, there's something else. I need to look for a different setup. If I put some in it, then I have to pay attention to it. So that's what I'm doing. I'll let you guys know what I find. Right now, it's doing what I thought it would. We'll see if that continues. $10. Can you do a poll asking anyone here in the group over 2 months are up or down money with stock trading? I'm curious, not financial advice, of course. Yeah, Short Fridays, we can do a little poll real quick. Let's go set up a poll. Let's see. You trying to feel better about yourself or something? Just kidding, just kidding. You probably liked that DJT push, didn't you, Short Fridays? Were you a DJT guy? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but Short Fridays just wants to see. It's been a complicated market, so I totally understand, right? Totally understand if people have struggled with this market. It's just there were some clear opportunities. That's the thing. There were some clear opportunities, some clear opportunities, some clear opportunities. But that's okay. It just means we need to make sure to be seeing it very clearly in the future, right, when they do pop up. GME reaching the critical level. Let's go check on that real quick. GME really needs to break through. It needs to curl up on the 2 hour. If it curls up on the 2 hour, I think it's got a shot. 3104. This is what's weird. And Chris, you could be right. Volatility is turning up on the daily scale potentially, right? It's kind of fading. But here's the thing. Why? It's like, this is so weird for this to happen with Nvidia earnings. And everyone all the time on the internet was saying Nvidia is the collateral for GME and AMC. So very interesting. MSTR ripping. Still ripping. I'd be, oof. I kind of want to look at this on my, let me see something real quick. I'm going to go check something. Oh, MSTR is not safe. You want to see how much they're actually, MSTR is doing great. This is great. Because weirdly enough, I would say ever since August of this year, they've been short selling the crap out of MSTR. And now you are short selling MSTR at the highest potential point you really ever have. The last time you were this high was November 13th. Look at November 13th, it was coming down. They're really worried about this one, I think. That's kind of wild. So pretty much what you would say by looking at this, you would say there's a battle right now. You would say there's a battle between short sellers. There's a battle between short sellers and the traders within this stock. The bullish people and the short sellers trying to push it down. Which ever since August, it looks like that was happening. So for a long time. See, August, they really started short selling in here, and then it started to buy up, buy up, buy up. So they might be getting squeezed. That might make sense of why Palantir and MSTR and all those things are actually going up. Let's check Palantir as well. Are you guys short selling Palantir? What are you guys doing? Not you guys, but Palantir actually came down. So from my analysis, and I think we might have looked at this earlier, but from my analysis at least, was when it does start to come down from a peak, usually that means the battle has been won by the short seller. And so Palantir could experience a drop. But that's just an analysis that I'm doing right now. Don't take that into consideration with your trades or anything. I'm just looking at it. I'm trying to see if I can formulate some kind of conclusion by looking at this type of data. That's what I'm going to try to do over the next month. I'm going to be paying attention to it. And I've got to write my stuff down because I analyzed it for about, I think I analyzed it for about 5 hours yesterday. That's right, 5 hours straight, just staring at short sell volume and the stock and comparing previous things. I did that for 5 hours yesterday. Wolf, I like you, buddy. You're looking good. You're doing what I thought you would based on that analysis, but I need to write that stuff down. I did not write one thing down when I was doing it, and I feel stupid for it, so now I kind of have to go again. We did touch the buy zone. If that 30-minute does turn back up, I would not expect this to head lower. I would expect this to see some kind of 2-hour cross and take back the 5 if this just crosses back up randomly, like we did here. For the SPY, guys. You are in the SPY on your chart there. I'm going to go into the deeper one here, because this is what I want to see. Let's see at least this signal or this structure in the micros. You're short selling Palantir, but I don't think it's big enough. Well, yeah, probably. Maybe it is, Laws. Is that all you? Do you have 10 million shorts right now or more? Yeah, IWM, you're seeing a similar thing, right? IWM, you're seeing a similar. One good thing about IWM, it was not able to confirm that down. Did you notice that? Very interesting, not able to confirm that down. So can it take the 5 now? Can we curl up on the 2-hour? That's possible. You did not curl down on the 30-minute. IWM's holding up better. Now remember, if IWM does cross up, yeah, it's negative a little bit there, but if you really look at this thing, it never got that divergence. So we are likely to make weakness in momentum here. The momentum here got weak with that 30-minute. You're seeing a big 2-hour pullback. That's great because we saw the weakness in momentum. If that can curl up and get above this, get up to these levels, you can see something good. Maybe you even see something crazy. Maybe that's why they're short selling all these little stocks. Yeah, loss. Let us know when I get in on the upside. I will. I've just got kind of a fun play with this guy to test my theories. But I'll let you know. I really want to see strong basing out, or at least a 30-minute to curl up. So, but the thing is, you asked me like, hey, when am I getting back in? It's like, part of me is really just thinking, wait to see what happens with Nvidia earnings. That's what part of me is really going to debate throughout my day today if I see a reversal signal. Right? We touch our buy zone, we buy back up. Awesome. That's great. Volatility still scaling up. We'll see if that can turn back down. You have a little 2-hour divergence as well now. Makes some sense. Maybe we need to dig into that a little closer. Hourly's not holding it, just the 2-hour is. So part of me is just like, man, I could save myself a bunch of stress if I just, you know, didn't play anything around Nvidia earnings. GME apparently breaking out. There you go. Good move. See if that 2-hour crosses up now. Right, like that's why I wanted this to be a little bit deeper actually, is because now you're going to get a cross up right as you cross this. But it is a good sign that it's probably going to reach for higher prices as long as they aren't, you know, trying to do crazy things with the short selling. As long as they aren't fighting the stock, that's just what it is. Whenever you get to these exceedingly high levels, it's going to be a battle. But this is where the battle really begins, 3104. If you can confidently break through that and not see that resistance come in, that's when you start to go, okay, GME can run. AMC even flipped back around. Look at that thing. You know, you're talking about GME. Look at AMC. That thing was dying, right? It had no real things in here to tell you that was really a good thing. Maybe a 15-minute, right? I think we have a 15-minute here for possible double bottom on a 15-minute. I just don't like those too much, mainly on rejection. But you do have the divergence we were talking about on the 15-minute here. So now that 2-hour curls up. 2-hour, 30-minute, daily, all positive. It's a good sign for AMC and GME. You still have 12, 13 AMC calls? Yeah, it just kind of depends. It's like if Nvidia sells off after earnings or is used as collateral, maybe it goes up. Do we see these stocks get fought against for a little bit? We're still going to pay attention to momentum here. If GameStop goes up on the 2-hour, makes a divergence on the 2-hour, it is likely that that momentum is dying out. If those cross, right? You got to make sure things are crossing for AMC and GME because that's like the most important thing. When you saw the big moment, the 30-minute went up. It went up to crazy freaking levels. And it didn't curl down until it was getting a pullback, right? And then it happened mainly in the pre-market. So AMC is the better example because AMC traded during market hours and you notice that AMC actually saw the pop, kept going on the 30-minute till it was at crazy prices. And then at the top, you saw this on your MACD. Right, you saw, well, let's really say what you saw at the top. You want to know the perfect sell was back when AMC ran to crazy prices, ran to hundreds of dollars or whatever it did? Well, you saw this from the price action, and you saw this from the MACD. That's what you saw at the exact top of AMC. Pretty crazy. So if that 30-minute goes positive, I can pay attention to it. Right now, you react to the 5, the resistance comes in. We'll see what happens. And I'm guessing Nvidia floors from that, yeah. I don't know if they have time to go shoot down and take out these stops, but I'm paying attention over here on my other screen to some stuff that can really help us out. Things are looking a little bit wild. Hopefully this sets up before. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer today. Do you guys mind? Do you guys mind if I hang out with you guys a little bit longer? Oh, 50-50. I'm glad that's 55. That's good. So 44 votes, 55 net positive. Not bad. 45% of people, hey, hopefully we're just looking back and seeing, hey, what could I have done a little bit better? What could I have done a little bit better? Should I be paying attention to a different stock? You know, anything like that, any kind of accountability will be good. Close that down for now. Thank you guys for voting. It's great. It's great to see people being honest and actually putting, yeah, I was net negative. And then you want to point out why and try to fix those little things, or just capitalize on your strengths. Find the ones where that they went well. And then be like, what did I do here that was really good? Let me just repeat that. That's the better thing. Doubling down on strengths is always way better than trying to work on your weakness. It's kind of like the opposite of the school system. The school system says, focus on your weaknesses, get better at those, get better at those. It's like, it's probably the opposite. You probably need to just see what you like, see what your strengths are, and then go with that, and then try to minimize your weakness. Oil and healthcare are positive. That is interesting as well. So the 2 hour here showing that we can see some kind of pullback maybe to the 5. But if you really look at the daily scale here and you go, ooh, if that curls up, that doesn't look bad. I kind of want to see, that's not necessarily divergence. That's not necessarily divergence, but you've been bottling up for a long time. You really were making almost like a curvy, it looks like a curvy head and shoulders. But if that curls up, then there's a ton of orders probably coming in down at these levels. Wonder if USO gives us a little hint here. Yeah, daily about to give a swing trade possible signal for the USO. And if that breaks out, you can see a pretty good move. Just do a very sketchy measured move here. Let's say it dips down one more time. Let's take it lower. Yeah, so maybe it could get right in between here. Because sometimes you'll go, or maybe we break out, see the retest, then we make that upward move. Good find. Just consolidation, you can really see that there. GME looks like it gave it up a little bit there. Yeah, not able to confirm up on a 2 hour. Not able to confirm up on a 2 hour. The T is, are we going to make reversal signal again, right? The difference between here and here is the real T. The T here was the 2 hour confirmed up, and we took back the 5. T here is, hey, we got to that 5 and we rolled over on the 15-minute too deep, too close to the center line. So you have the opportunity to turn down, maybe even cut these lows, go make a new one, see if that creates the divergence for you actually on the price action. As the 30-minute has crossed and gone negative, you have to say, you know, we're going to test in these areas or go make that new low. Right now you're testing in those areas. The way you know that this is maybe reversing back around or higher probable move for the 2 hour to go up, maybe to a weekly expected move, it's just if this 30-minute can confirm up, right? It's really close. So I just want to pay attention anytime that 30-minute curls up. Etsy, weird thing about Etsy, I've been seeing so many Etsy commercials. It's like Etsy's trying to make a comeback, like for real. Because I feel like Etsy was dead for a little bit of time. So I am paying attention. I'm going to stay live just a little bit longer here. Just to see, I really want to catch this timing for you guys if I can. If we're going to create the good reversal signals, I want to try to catch that timing. I probably won't take anything with Nvidia. Nvidia, great move. Not able to confirm down on a 30-minute. That's great. Just retesting that 5, chopping it a little bit, taking out the stops at this low, and then just rejecting off it. That's good. That's good because Nvidia has curled up on the 2 hour. So now it's reaching down. Ooh. Crazy. Q's SPY. Let's leave it there. I'm gonna flip over to the Q's actually. Yeah, you still could react up to the breakdown area towards 589.12 for the SPY. 589, which is right around where that 5-day is sitting. Yeah, the SPY doesn't look awful. It just, you have to be worried that this is consolidation to distribute to the downside, right? We could be building liquidity in here to then just see it drop. That's why you want to make sure to know, hey, the 30 minutes turning down. The likelihood of that happening is higher than us doing that right now. Just so you're aware, that's what your indicator's saying. Now, if that would completely changes, right? That's all we're paying attention to. What is the most likely thing right now? Well, the most likely thing is, hey, this is bad. If that turns around, then what's the most likely thing? Ooh, that 2 hour could confirm up, right? So then that 2 hour at the same time could confirm up. Then you go, okay, awesome. Now I can pay attention for upside, but Nvidia earnings, I have to know that that can be a bad thing. Bitcoin, I just want to pay attention to a 4 hour. Bitcoin, I really just, I mean, the 2, yeah, we can see divergence like probably later on, but if this 4 just turns down, I'm a little bit sketched out by Bitcoin. I think that would be a failed breakout at that point. Like failed breakout to try to go to 100K. But pretty good stuff. I mean, it's just building in here, building, but you do see how that would not be a good sign. Now, what's the most likely thing right now? The most likely thing right now is that's heading up. I don't see any 2 hour divergence that says this has to drop down. Right? We could go make that, right? But 4 hour here, if that would just cross down all of a sudden, then I would say, ooh, daily pullback is most likely coming for Bitcoin. Good stuff. We've reached down into the buy zone one more time. Can we take back the 5? Mara is a great look. I'm just going to tell you right now, Mara is a fan. And we mentioned Mara, actually. We showed this. I just randomly was like, I kind of like the look of Mara, right? And we see Mara actually coming down to lower levels, giving the divergence point, giving the same thing on the RSI at the same time. Very good look here. 2 hour curling up. Ooh, 2 hours curling up. This looks like, hey, we could head into our sell zone. If we exceed that sell zone, we could see a pull down to get back in it to go higher. This is great. Mara looks pretty damn good. We'll see if the sell zone shows some resistance, but you're getting there. That's great. You know, with Mara, I actually, oh, God damn it. See, this is where the stream butt hurt me a little bit here. Yeah, because I was supposed to get back in with that 15-minute, but I was analyzing stuff. Damn it. And then I was supposed to play it to my sell zone. That's all right. Well, you miss out on some, and that's fine. Oop, not 15. Still want the 30. Really, Jackal? That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, 100K is obviously going to be a big level. It's just that whole number. And 100K. People love to say the phrase. Just say 100K out loud right now. Feels good, right? So, people like that number. They gravitate to the whole numbers. Like the Nvidia 1000 talk. Like the SPY to 600 talk. Like the... Ooh. I'm gonna check on my boy over here. What the frick is about to happen? I mean, I would say if the daily for volatility turns up, though, that just convinces me like, hey, you know, wait till after Nvidia earnings. Dollar is scaling up like crazy too, up 0.62%. And a lot of calls coming in, PCC at 0.77. We could get a little bit more calls than that, but So let's be aware if we actually make that stronger base, and then be aware that Nvidia earnings can completely change whatever's happened today after hours. Okay, are we going to react back up to the 5? That would make some sense. I know it's the regular time I hop off. I just want to watch this with you guys for a little bit longer. See what's coming out. The 2-hour hasn't crossed up there. 30-minute has. Still waiting for that 2-hour. GameStop, the next 2-hour bar, probably pretty important. You might make a small handle here for GameStop. We're getting excited, and every time we get excited up to these levels, this is the weekly move from last week. Remember the weekly move from last week? Touch, almost touch, 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 get past it, fade dramatically. So you're past it now. Are you going to fade dramatically? Are you going to see this building up to this level, get that handle, retest the 5, and then see some support come back in? Or is this going to flip negative? So a lot can happen. I just want to see 2-hour confirmation. I'll feel pretty confident in it. Palantir still dipping down to lower levels. Really looking flaggy here. Really controlled. Could be another drop down. Weekly expected move right below you. 2-hour as well, giving divergence. So daily pullback is likely to happen. Even if you get that 2-hour move up, that could just be some kind of move down afterwards. We'll see. Palantir is one of those ones. You're just like, man, is this thing ever going to pull back, right? Well, you can just sit and be patient. Look for opportunities elsewhere. Like Netflix as well is one. Really running. Mara now 14.9%. Great move from Mara. Damn, that's when I'm bummed out that I just didn't flip back behind me and get into that again like I was supposed to on the 15. Lame. Look at that buy up from there. It's great. All right, leaving here on the 30-minute. No curl up just yet. Let me go back over here to pay attention to these things for you. That's why I'm staying live a little longer. I just want to really watch this for you. I think you want to go up a little bit more. I'd really like to see this get to 588 to 589. Let me chug some coffee. And then I gotta look at that script, Luke. I gotta look at that script, man. That's cool. You just had ChatGPT write you a script? It's kind of sick. Like, not sickening, like sick. Like California sick, you know what I'm saying? Sick. Bro. All right, we're seeing. What are you guys chatting about real quick? Wait, if it tells you. What's my daily for GME? I don't have a daily. You can't really make a daily for GME until Fridays. Yeah, it's still going to be 3104 for now. Right, on Friday we can get a level for you. If you join the Patreon on Fridays, we do give you some key levels for GameStop. So on Friday, we'll give you that level. I wonder if we saw a reaction, by the way. I believe we did. Let's go check last week's levels, just to see if we got reactions off of there. 2904 on was was that, Friday? Ooh, you almost got there. You didn't really reach a daily expected move for GameStop on that Friday. Yeah, you really didn't. You got up towards it. But yeah, we can get you dailies for GameStop every single Friday if you just join the Patreon. Which, you know, some people pointing out they wanted maybe a one-time purchase for the Patreon to just be a member for life. I thought that was a decent idea. I'm gonna actually have to put out a poll on Patreon. So if you're part of Patreon, go over there and later today, and I'll put out a poll just to see if it's something you're interested in. And I'll see if I can do it. I'm pretty sure I can. Okay, SPY's starting to move down here. Okay, this is the timing I was trying to get. I still would like us to head a little higher first. Nice and close to the center line, so I can try to time this thing to see if we're going to catch a bounce here. And then we got to just watch out for Nvidia earnings. Just because I'm going to try to analyze this very closely does not mean I'm going to take a play. I'm very nervous for Nvidia earnings, honestly. Maybe I'll do a small amount, like maybe I'll just do another fun play. Now, what has the bigger move? There they are, DIA. Ooh, God, that looks so flaggy, it's insane. Just one blip out of it. Maybe. Ah, man, I wanted you to get a little bit higher up. Now this is gonna be really tight. You're gonna have to dip into the liquidity one more time. You're gonna have to dip into that buy zone again. Yeah, they're acting like, at least from what Bloomberg was talking about, it's like they took some products off and because they didn't have margin or something like that, and that might have dampened sales. At least that's the topic they were talking about. Well, for Tesla, it's more like, it's not necessarily like, unless you're investing, I wouldn't really say like what price. I would more be leaning towards like, what does the indicator tell you right now? Because the 2 hour, if that confirms down, it would say not right now, right? But if that could confirm down and then confirm right back up, then it would say that's a good price. Whenever that curls back up, that's more what I'd pay attention to. But just note that that 2 hour turning down can get ugly, right? We can cut this low, go make a new one. You do have that weakening up here from a lower high, right? This is just a lower high at this point. If we make that upward move, then you can talk about divergences. But yeah, so you want to see, does the 30-minute whip back around, or is this 2 hour going to cross? Because 2 hour crossing down would not be a good sign. And then if that's able to show weakness and momentum, that's more the price I would look for. Yeah, I don't really have a good number for Tesla like today. Well, you want to, when you don't have a good number, you want to pay attention to important zones. So we can obviously tell that this level is important. You gapped up from this level twice now. So this level is going to be very important. It means that this little box in here is very important. So if we lose that, I want to watch out. If we can hold up at that in some way, that's when I would say, hey, that opportunity could maybe come in, right, Free Indeed? Do you see my thinking there? And like, I can go check on a weekly expected move for Tesla's downside, and I can tell you right now, you're right towards the upper expected move. So you're very likely to go test that. The downward expected move is a lot lower. The downward expected move would be like, okay, this ABC is going to play out, right? So that's why it's really telling you guys 2 hour crosses down, you can end up creating that lower high. And then we would just pay attention if that's able to whip back up though. There's a way up, there's a way down every single time. I still would like this to keep going sideways though. No, keep going sideways, stop dropping. Go sideways a little bit longer so this looks nice and smooth. I'm gonna stay on, I'm gonna keep staying on until we see this stuff play out. If you're enjoying the little bit longer stream here, give a like to the channel. And yes, GameStop is seeing the upward move, seeing a lot of wicks come in, but that 2 hour, if that 2 hour confirms up, you can see something good. Weird that it's happening with Nvidia earnings. It's just kind of wild. Yep, SPY's going down. That's kind of what we want to see. And then you got to see if AMC can curl up on the 2 hour as well. Jesus, could I not hiccup? Like 1 day without hiccuping. Come on. 2 hour rejecting as of right now. We'll see if that changes. SPY selling off a little bit here. That's why I'm trying to pop into the chat, but I'm making sure to pay attention to what's going on over on my other charts. I just want to see if we can get the timing for this bounce. Doesn't mean it has to completely reverse, but it would be a good reversal signal if I see this in a moment. Let me see. Micro says this could be a cup and handle, right? Micro is kind of saying, hey, this could be a cup and a handle, right? So I want to pay attention to that. But if we're able to cup, handle, we get that breakdown, people get bearish, and then we whip back up. That's something I'm paying attention to on my other charts. That's why I'd like this to move sideways a little bit longer. Okay, let me check on some stuff over here. See what people are talking about. People talking about GameStop with a new monthly high. It is good to zoom out on GameStop, by the way. Just seeing what people are talking about with stocks. It is good to zoom out on this and really see where are we right here. Man, you want to see a very good handle, get a daily pullback here. You want to see the best opportunity, I think, for GameStop, get a daily pullback here. I'm just being genuine. I think that would be the best opportunity. This goes like this, right? We go into December, we turn back up, and then January, we actually see the big move. That's more the timing that I think makes sense, but I don't care what I think makes sense. I care what the signals are. If that 2 hour curls up, hey, we can see a good move. The daily's turned up, the 2 hours turned up, 30 minutes turned up all at the same time. Awesome. But I think this would be the best scenario and the one that makes the most sense for GameStop. Because that level's obviously important. Obviously. So now we're going to see, is this going to do that and then curl back up over time? Then we see in January something crazy happen. 2025, this thing might really come alive if that shapes up. And all you have to do is go, okay, did that go like this? Okay, awesome. Does it have a 2 hour divergence in there? Okay, awesome. Is it curling up on the daily scale? Okay, awesome. This thing's great again. And I'm just saying that because Nvidia is a big event. And I'm hesitant to think GME is going to pop off during Nvidia earnings, but we'll see. That is potentially the collateral for this thing. Cool stuff. Other charts still looking all right. Build up a little bit longer. Just notice it's relatively controlled still. It's still remaining down here. Okay, I'm gonna get an order ready. Okay, let's look at pricing of stuff. Just in case we do make the signal. Weekly ad. Yeah. slip into that. Mara to confirm on the 2 hour. Yes, great 30-minute signal for Mara. Now it's starting to reject off of that zone. Okay, so if that 30-minute curls down, no longer a good play, right? That zone is a gray area to look for. Hey, this is a great move. This should have printed some money with the 30-minute divergence. That's great. It means, hey, when I see that resistance come in, maybe I need to take a little profit, right? Make sure I'm not risking all of my money anymore, right? Taking profit as you head to the upside, especially as you hit a sell zone, very good thing. I don't have weekly ranges for this either, but that is a 15% move in one day, and you already moved up from a low down here on Monday. Right, we can see that major drop off came down to here. We might have even touched both weekly expected moves here. Look at GME. Yeah, it's 3.37. Always fun. You forget to close your order. By huge or low, it just depends. It really depends. Are we going to, if we do not, okay, here's what we'll say. Again, right? 30-minute. This is crossed down. That could mean a lower low is coming. You've reacted to the 5. You've gotten rejected. That is what happens when you see a lower level. But what we're paying attention to today is for a trap. What did I say in last night's video? I think we're going to see some traps. So I'm being very aware if this does this and goes like that. That's all I'm being aware of. I want to be aware of what momentum looks like at the end of the day. Can it see a higher low? It can. It can see a higher low by just curling up right now. Taking back the 5 right now would be a form of higher low. And it's great because this was low, this was a little bit higher, this is a little bit higher. But it's just very, very relatively controlled. And that's why I'm like, ooh, I am just being aware that this might need to show some great basing out signals. If this 30-minute doesn't curl up today, hey, I don't have an opportunity and I can just sit back and watch Nvidia earnings. I don't have any reasons to take a play unless this curls up. So thank you guys for sticking around with me. I wanted to watch this a little bit longer with you guys. So thank you so much for leaving likes on this video. I really do appreciate it. Let's grow this community. Get me to 10K. Let's get this community built up. 10K by Christmas. Let's go. We can get it to 10K and it'll be completely free to hit that like button. Now I'm paying attention to the micro stuff on my other chart, but we can just see if a 30-minute turns up. Like that's the most obvious thing. That's why we're just watching this on the screen. But on my other chart, and you can see how big of a move you can get. If that 30-minute confirms up, you could end up at 596.50 by the end of the day. Now, is that going to happen before Nvidia earnings or after? That is something you might want to mull over. It's probably more likely to fiddle around and then turn down and then turn up towards the end of the day. That's what I think. And then you set the trap, or you set the trap all day. And then we just pay attention to momentum. If the opportunity is there, we can go, but we just have to know. We have to know Nvidia's big, and most likely we're going to see a gap tomorrow. We are most likely going to see a gap in a lot of stocks tomorrow. We don't know which direction because Nvidia earnings is a 50-50 flip, but it's just crazy that one stock can have that amount of power to cause everything to start to gap in certain directions. Okay, get a 1, 2, 3 push higher now, SPY. Do it. Do it on the micro level. Get up there. Uh-oh. Hey, Donetta, thank you so much for joining the live stream. Happy to have you here. 10K, baby. 10K, baby. God, I should have posted the Mara trade to Patreon. It's just Mara's kind of a skeptical stock. That's why I was like, we mentioned it during the live show. I even took a play on it, and then I missed out on the 15-minute move higher because I wasn't paying attention to it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the smiley face. Hopefully you're all smiles today. Positive vibes. I think, yeah, Kalani, and I think that's not a bad thing to point out. And if we're going to see that proven, we're going to see it right here on the SPY, right? As we go down to these levels, we can go cut that level for a moment, take out the stops, right? And then we'll see if we can head to the upside. If we're going to continue heading down, hey, then this just isn't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We're just going to reject from the 5. This is probably going to be an ABC in some way, right? We end up at lower levels, fill a gap, see what happens, but we could end up all the way down to our next zone. But for this week, we'd pay attention to 574.17. And you see this too, that 30-minute is so far up that if we experienced a big drop, you actually could potentially still make an hourly or a 30-minute divergence. That'd be crazy. Trying to play it back up. Yeah, we're just waiting. It's very controlled. The likelihood that this goes like this, well, right now we'll see if that comes to fruition. That's what I'm paying attention to on my other charts and why I'm hanging out with you guys a little bit longer. We would like this to keep fondling. I'm just going to tell you now, if you want a good signal, if you really want this signal to look good, if it does shoot down to here, as far as what I'm looking at, you want this to fool around. You want this to fool around a little bit longer or remain in these areas for just a little bit longer. I'd say like 20 more minutes. We can get 20 more minutes where we maybe react up to these moving averages one more time and then we turn down. I'll be very excited to see if this thing turns back around. And then I'm just going to keep saying it though. Anything can happen with Nvidia earnings. We are most likely going to see a gap in some way tomorrow. Okay, I did just get your email, Luke. I just noticed that. I'm going to check that out. That's really cool. Sounds fun. What time is the earnings happening today? So for your information, Nvidia is happening after hours today. So you can see that little bubble right here with the moon on it. So Wednesday after hours. Usually the numbers get released out first and then they talk about the numbers afterwards. Notice that the 30-minute is trying to curl down. Notice that we're doing that at a gap fill. This could just be a big-ass cup and handle. And you end up heading to the upside. But Nvidia, it's going to be a 50-50 flip. I'm not going to play Nvidia. I'm going to look for an opportunity somewhere else. I might look for it in the SPY. Shit, I got to look at the shorter time frames because that was a drop. No, don't drop right now. Wait like 15 more minutes. Then do it. Then I'll be happy. I don't want this signal to be tight. If it's tight, then we'll just have to see reaction quickly. Or we will have to react quickly. GameStop, what a solid move. No little divergences anywhere either. Damn, that's a good move from GameStop, man. AMC doing it too, but we'll see what happens on the next 2-hour bar because that's very close to crossing for GME. So the next 2 hours in about 6 minutes, the next 2 hours for GME and AMC, very, very important. Wait a little bit longer, SPY. You don't need to do it yet. Give it 15 more minutes. Let's see, it goes sideways a little bit on these little minute charts and shit. TLT is starting to buy back up. So you see that retest of the 5 curls up on the 30-minute. We can see something good. Now, just a note for TLT, you do have a weekly expected move. We give that out on Patreon. So if we do break above those levels, we could go retest those levels. So I'm saying if you break this, then you could retest that 5 again, go up again. We'll see. But the daily scale is suggesting that this could be something a little bit bigger. It's right with Nvidia earnings. Everything is leading up to Nvidia earnings can really send things higher or send things lower. Keep holding. Even if the SPY went up a little bit, I'd be pretty happy about that for now. I want to see that 5. I want to see this area. You see how all of the stuff is right here. Even the 5-day is right here. I want to see a test of that. If we can get a clean test of that and then fall off, that is something I'm really paying attention to. We got 4 minutes left. That would just be an awesome test of a bunch of moving averages on the 30-minute and a 5-day. So if you're going to ride that 5-day, it'd be nice to get a little tag of that. And there you go. So GME towards the end of the bar here, seeing that 2-hour fade a little bit. So the next, in 3.5 minutes, the next 2-hour bar will be pretty damn important for GME. And then AMC fading the move off the 5-day as well. Come on, baby. Wonder if this will be quick. Okay. Maybe that one if this sets up. See what the news is saying here. Yeah, pretty much the news is everyone's waiting for Nvidia earnings is what a lot of people are talking about. And then they're also talking about last night, the runaway national debt could push interest rates higher. Okay, now we're starting to drop here. We're getting close. We're getting close to making those signals. I still would have liked this to buy a little bit more time. The signal could be very tight. Like now that this didn't build up a little bit more, and it still can, right, if it gets a reaction now, but it's really coming off. So this could be very quick. The next, 2 minutes or so, you could just go like this, bink, and then end up turning back up. Nothing to report just yet, though. Still seeing. We can go test that 5. 588.70. All right, let me pop over to the chat because this is going to take a little time here. The well-known Bink play. Ah, yes. It's named after my daughter's Binky. Price to rebuy Mara. Honestly, Mara can really be affected by Nvidia earnings. And Bitcoin's showing possible 4-hour divergence, which if Bitcoin's showing weakness, usually Mara's going to see weakness. And Mara has a short seller problem. So it's like there's tons of stuff. My numbers are spot on. Yeah, I just use options data. They're not even technically my numbers a lot of the time. I just know how to find the zones, and then I know how to calculate these type of numbers every single day, every single week, every single month. They're the best levels, right? We have tagged them. We tagged both yesterday. We tagged one, went up, tagged the other. Fantastic. Well, the only relationship you would really say between Mara is mainly the short seller problem, because a lot of people believe that Nvidia is a lot of the borrowing collateral to short sell a lot of these stocks. That's why it always goes up. That's why every time it confirms a major signal, it just ends up basing out and turning back up. Now, technically, you won't know that until everything unravels. Technically, you will not know that until everything unravels. So I don't think we know if that's even 100% true just yet. But it's like, hey, if everyone's right, then if all these people about short sellers are right, then okay, we should see that unravel at some point. And I think with Gary Gensler getting kicked, with 2025 coming, with January coming, where Donald Trump is going to, he already said he wants to clamp down on illegal activity in markets. Well, that would be the most illegal thing in markets, I think. And it hurts the average American the most, too. We'll see. Just watch the signals. If we just watch the signals, we'll be able to be fine. We'll be just fine. Trade like water. Now we're starting to dip down into the zone again. There's a pivotal 5-minute bar, by the way. I would love to shoot up one more time. Come on, shoot up one more time. right now. You're not going to do it. That's fine. We'll pay attention. Just, I think it needs to buy more time for this to be a great signal. Yeah, and Mara, just know this can really back off. They are, you know, short selling it like crazy. And that's what I'm analyzing for you guys. I'm really trying to figure out how to read into the short selling. Yeah, so just so you know, Mara, as of right now, has as much short selling as it did back in December of 2023. And in December of 2023, you actually had that major run by Mara. And they're starting to short sell it, do the short sale volume at those levels. It tells me, are they worried that this thing's about to run? Because it happened in the middle of the run, and then they won, and then that short selling started to come off. But, you know, technically you'd be like, well, Mara traders down at $7 probably won when that hit $30 and then they sold. It doesn't look exactly the same as last time. But yeah, you're at the same levels right now. All right, let me go back over to the SPY. Shit. That end up wicking up. We got 2 minutes left. Okay, good. This is actually okay. I kind of want this to happen. Stay live a little bit longer. Don't you worry. There we go. There we go. Okay. If we're going to make a great signal here, I really need that to test this area. I think that would make this signal really good. Let me draw this out over here. So that would mean by like, well, you guys know I'm Central Time, but that would mean in about 30 minutes, we actually hit a price of that 588, 588.50. That would be the best place to get, and then you end up breaking down from there. We'll see. 1 minute. It's so close. It's so close. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. That just needs to flip back to green for a second here. And then we can maybe make this signal a little bit better. It's not that it would be bad, it just would be very tight if it turned down right here. You want like one more 30-minute bar of this kind of fudging around in this area. There it goes. Good. Come on, come on. It's just gonna like rapidly sell down. Which the signal will still be there, it'll just be tight. There you go. Okay, now these bars really matter. You want to see some positivity here. You don't necessarily want to see negativity just yet. You want a really good signal, that is. There you go. There's a little bit of positivity. There we go. Yeah, watching it on the micro scale is fun. Double bottom on the SPY, hopefully. Yeah, we're just waiting to see if that really carves out. It would almost be a triple bottom at that point. But we're just seeing, and I'm watching the smaller signals just to see and hear if we're going to get this move. Because this would be the best. If you did that, you slightly take out the stops, you just do that for a brief moment and flip back up. But I want this to build up again, test these areas, then fall off and do that. Because then you actually have the divergence on the MACD and RSI. Very, very steep divergence, right? Not just the rejection one from yesterday, but instead you have that actual flowing divergence down here. We kind of forget about that rejection. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, now it's starting to head down. Maybe this will be quick. That's pushing down pretty good. What's the volume like on these? Yeah, it's getting low, getting low, getting low. So if we push down here on lower volume again, well, you're seeing how that's coming down. It's starting to get tight. And then we might see one of these little explosions, right? We sell off, it gets tight, explosion. We sell off, we start to get really tight really fast. But right here, you're getting tight, getting tight. Let's see if something happens there. We still got 22 minutes left, 23 minutes left in the bar. All right, let's see here. Because I'd be sitting in front of my computer anyway, so I might as well stay live, right? Okay. We're gonna do it now, just do it, man. At this point, fuck it. Do it, man. Let's go. Because this 5 minute, every little bar matters now. Oh yeah, this could be quick if this keeps going. Really want to see positivity for a brief moment here. Just another 10 minutes even of positivity would help. Okay, now I don't necessarily want that test of 588.50. I would rather see us just test the previous levels up here, 587.50. I'm just focusing up for a second here, guys. I'm gonna click through a couple here. Okay, wait, pay attention to Apple. Apple might be about to get a 30-minute curl up. Apple is showing some signs that it wants to curl up, and we talked about it getting down to 225.84. We didn't perfectly tag it, but just be aware here, this is where the 30-minute is saying, hey, I can curl up from here. I like trading Apple, so we'll see if that's going to happen. It's not confirmed yet, but it is trying to base out here. Then let me click back over to the SPY. Back over to the SPY, just keep your eyes on that. If we're gonna curl up this 30-minute for the SPY, that would be a good sign. Yeah, Apple is trying to base out with that. In about 10 seconds, we'll see if that can confirm. It's not the best signal in the world, but it's there. And then, let's see. Nope, didn't confirm. And then the SPY. Okay, good. We're buying time. That is good. This is what can get us more towards that 588.50. But the more time we build in this area, the better, I think. I just want to build and build and build and build, drop down, and then see that spike back up. Okay, let me click through other charts real quick. Tesla, this is an area where it can turn around on the 30-minute, just so you're aware. If that 30-minute could be turned around right here soon. Amazon, a little less likely. Nvidia trying to. Nvidia might have to go a little bit deeper, but it is trying to. AMD showing this could be a moment to turn. So you're seeing a lot of stuff say like, hey, we might try to turn around from here. Microsoft, nothing really there. Google, nothing really there. Palantir, trying to make a higher low. Gold looks like something weird. That's really all I see. Even SMCI is showing this flat base down here. And that could start to turn up on a 30-minute soon. But it might also need to, right, that could be a little cup and handle to head down. I think a retest of 2250 would still be good for SMCI, or a retest of 2380. Mara might have one more move left in it. Very short move could happen in it to get back in that sell zone, and then watch if that rejects. If that rejects, you might get a 30-minute pullback for Mara. SPY really liking it. That's good. This could be a higher low scenario now. The way this is shaping up in here, this could be a higher low. It's still remaining controlled though. So if it's still controlled and we're not seeing this break through, then we have to say this can always go down first, hit that daily expected move, take out the stops, and then whip things back around. That's what we're paying attention to. That's why I'm staying live just a little bit longer. Pretty solid there. Alrighty. Good. I'm glad we're buying more time. I wanted to keep buying more time. I wanted to get up to 587 level, 587.50 level again. All right, let me pop in and see what you guys are chatting about. 587.50 would be a good test, yeah. You're seeing a death cross. Let's go over to a 5-minute. Not quite on mine yet. $50 still remaining above the 200 there. Ooh, GameStop starting to see that resistance come in. Oh, there goes the SPY for a little bit. Now we just have to see if this 30-minute curls up, that might be a higher low in here. We've built some liquidity. If it doesn't turn up, then we could reject off the 5, come down, and make the good reversal signal. One thing is, a few stocks are hinting that this is going to curl up right now, right? There are some stocks that have the signal we're looking for in here for a big potential for double bottoms and things like that. So just pay attention. If this 30-minute curls up, upside would be a likely thing. And then Nvidia earnings can ruin everything, right? 588 today would be a great test. It'd be a great test. It's pretty much at 588, 588.50. If that's the area, like, can we take that? Can we confirm that 30-minute MACD at the same time as retaking 588.50? Good. We're paying attention very intently today. I would, like I said, I'd be sitting here anyway, so I might as well stay live and hang out with you guys for a little bit. Okay, awesome. Just a little bit more positivity. Just a little bit more positivity. At least get to 587, 587.70 might be the level, but 587.50 is right above you. I'd like to see a little bit more than that. But it's good. You're building liquidity. Mara's trying to make that next move higher. Just be aware if Mara hits that sell zone one more time. you go look over at Mara, if this holds as resistance again here, that's a little bit of a problem. It means that 30-minute might actually back off. Which would be fine. This is a breakdown area. Get up to there, consolidate, maybe retest that 5, and then see what happens. But this could be very, very 5-day moving average is what I was talking about. This could be very tight though. And this just doesn't have to turn around. Like that 30-minute doesn't have to turn down. It's just this is when you want to be aware if we see rejection from here, that 30-minute can turn down. SPY, solid move now. This is what we want to see. Almost reaction time. A little bit higher. Give me like, hell, even 5 more minutes would be solid from this bar. So what is that, 8 more minutes? 8 more minutes of positivity. And then curl down, buddy. See what you guys are chatting about. Just sorry, I have to really watch stuff. Yeah, sorry if you guys, I'm trying not to click around too much. I really want to focus on this for you guys because it's what I'd be focusing on anyway. So I figured stay live, hang out with you guys. Usually when I hop off, I'm going to get ready and maybe go to lunch with the girls or something. And my daughter did just wake up. Okay, there we go. There's a solid little move. 587. I think 588.50 is a great test. Let me draw this up again, because we kind of moved a little bit. Let me see if I'm on that correctly. Okay. Let's see, on this bar, it would be 588.20. On the next one, we'd be looking at 588.30. And then we got to see if these 30 minutes can cross back up. Because look how close to the center line that is. If that 30-minute crosses up, the likelihood of going to 596.50 for the day is higher. The likelihood that we end up at 597.33 at some point throughout the week would be higher with this type of signal. I'm gonna go check over on my Apple thing real quick. Looks good. Looks pretty solid. I wonder if there'll be one more dip down, but looks pretty solid. But if the SPY is going to dip down one more time, maybe Apple does too. That's why I'm just chilling on that. All right, maybe we're going to get that test. Let me zoom in on this a little bit here. I want to see it. What did I say over here? 588.20. Yeah, it's like right where those moving averages are, so it's matching up. If we can take all that back, it would be a good sign. But I would like us to see resistance here, then chop out the lows, take out this stops in here, take out the stops in here, and then we see that move to the upside, right when people kind of don't expect it. Still a little bit towards the call side here. Meta reaching up for another test of the 5-day. My daughter's up there talking. She's just blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now paying attention to 588.30. If that resistance does come in, we could see a shooting move to 589 too. This is where we start to see if resistance comes in. Itchy, itchy, itchy. My leg. Itchy, itchy, yeah, 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 yeah. What? All right. This is where I need to watch, so. There it is, 588.20 coming in. The high is exactly 588.20 right now. We'll see. Yeah, there it hit 588.20. It could go to 588.30 and still hold. We could see a rapid move to 589 real quick. We'll see. We just want to see as this thing's building. Can it curl up that 30-minute? Now you're seeing kind of a break, right? You were in these bars, inside trading. Now you're seeing a little break. So just be aware that this 30-minute could curl up. We could have ourselves a higher low. Man, we need to do this more often. Power hour will be great. I could see that. It'd be kind of like, it's more just, do I see a good signal though, right? All right, we went above 588.30. Just going up a little bit further than we should necessarily. I still want to see if we reach up to 589 too. For a, let's see if that would be a liquidity grab. I guess you only have to really get to like 588.46. We might already have the job done. Just a quick look, volatility, see if that's going to turn down. Quick look, PCC still high, so maybe one more shoot down would convince people to get bearish. We'll see. I think probably the next 5-minute bar will really dictate, like, are we going to be able to take back this 5? Or are we going to reject again? We're violating now. Minute 50 left. Good, good. Now shoot up and test 589, my dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Maurice. And now I'm paying attention to the micro levels. That's why I can talk about these things and kind of see, hey, this might make this type of move because that's how the behavior usually plays out. Am I taking plays based on anything I'm saying right now? No, I'm just paying attention to the behavior and seeing if I'm on track. Which right now, it would say I'm on track, and I'm aware that if we don't see resistance here, we can take back that 5, and that will be something to pay attention to, right? You have the next bar, you see how important it is, right? Because we could reject from here in the next 5 minutes, or we could end up going up like this in the next 30 minutes and cross this up. If we do this, it's very likely that the job's been done down here. Okay, shoot up to 589, and then we'll see. We're 50 cents away. Okay, Apple's seeing some good positivity there. Let's see if that's curled up. Not just yet. We got like an hour left to see if that does. Come on, get there, get there. 589 is the big test. We're gonna make it there. Okay, this bar is the one that really matters. This bar matters a lot on the shorter time frames, like really short ones. Of course, I have to pee right now. I am gonna hold that shit in. I want to see what happens at 589 if we can get there. I know it's kind of dry over here. It's just I don't want to encourage small time frame trades. It's not something that I want to encourage at all. See what you guys are chatting about. I got out of those calls and just waiting now, hitting the BB on the 5 minutes. So you're hitting the Bollinger Band there on the 5 minute. Yeah, you're starting to spread them out, which means most likely some bigger swings can start to come, right? You got tight, now you're starting to spread them out. So we'll see if that's going to spread out to the upside, then go down, spread it out to the downside. Then we can see that big reaction up. Or we could curl up that 30 minute that's on the screen right over here. Right over here we can see 30 minute curls up into positive territory. Ooh, that would just be pretty easy going, wouldn't it? And Apple already gave the basing out signal. Apple's a big stock. It's not out of the woods yet, but it is trying to take back the 5. We'll see. Maybe it needs to back off for a second. We'll see. Nvidia. Slight problem there for Nvidia. Tesla trying to base out. Could make one more move down to reattach to that 5 one more time. Let's see the Qs. What did they do? Okay, Qs are testing their 5 right now. And I don't think this held. Let me see. Maybe the Qs can give us a hint. Yeah, Qs are retesting that 5-day moving average right now. And we'll see if we see some resistance off of that. Got 2 minutes left. Can you take back the moving averages? This is a very important next 2 minutes. My baby girl's used to me coming up at this time. She's up there going, da 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 da. Yo, this girl's 9 months old. She can already do like a full flight of stairs by herself. Isn't that crazy? All right, we're seeing a little bit of resistance start to come in. Nothing crazy. There we go. There we go. All right, so our level 588.50 did surpass that a little bit. Reached up towards 589. We're still seeing how this is going to play out. And then I might go check on my buddy over here. Should be okay. Should be all right. Use. Just running into that 5 for the Qs. You can see that on the Qs over here. We're more running directly into it. You see that wick? We're directly running into it. That's how important that last couple of minutes is. See how we're going to react, and now we have to see, is this 30 minute going to curl up right here? That would suggest we could see the 2 hour move higher. That suggests this is going to curl up if this 30 minute just crosses here. Hopefully it's not a trap for Nvidia earnings. Caking Nvidia good earnings. Power hour will be amazing. I think power hour could be amazing if you don't see the upward move now. I think if you really want a strong power hour, I think they need to get more people kind of bullish. Or I'm sorry, get bearish for a second. So they might shoot the market down to get them bearish. Oh, I gotta check on something real quick here. Okay. Why is Netflix about to pull down, maybe? We're actually seeing a little signal there for Netflix to maybe pull down to 850. interesting, but that thing's just screaming higher. It's a tough one. Apple retook the 5, that's great. Tesla is still above the 5. Amazon below it. Nvidia above it, that's good. No, no crying, Ari, not allowed. No, AMC, GME. All right, I'm gonna try to use the restroom real quick and then I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah, Ricardo, give me a second here and then we'll look over at Meta because that thing's seeing a pretty good rip. Alrighty, we're back. I'm gonna go scan over at Meta for a brief moment. Meta, great move, first of all. Never had the 30-minute pull down. You are reacting to the 5. You're starting to get a little overbought. You would want consolidation here. Pay attention if that 30-minute crosses over. It's really close to the center line. If the 2-hour can confirm, right? The 2 hours confirmed it just on a negative bar. Now it's confirming on a positive bar. So that's a good thing. But you can consolidate on that 30-minute before this heads higher. You could not, right? But there's that 2-hour move, making that little bit better floor we talked about over the weekend. 2-hour move, crosses up. Watch out for a lower high. The positioning of the MACD is a big thing we're talking about with Meta. But it does suggest we can see a decent move, maybe to go fill a gap or something. And then you want to see if that holds good structure throughout, it can make a move higher as long as this can just keep going. That's the main thing with those. Welcome back. My wife's going crazy up there. Ari's a lot. My daughter's a lot, and that's my fault. She probably has ADHD. All right, notice we are seeing that weakness right towards that 5-day. I think so, Chris. I think you're right in calling that out. I think we could see that big swing down. People really give up on it. And then we just see another swing up. I think you do have potential to see this 30-minute look like this. Or like maybe the next one, right? We do like that, then we see something down in here. But we gotta still pay attention. Is that 30-minute gonna just curl up? Because if that 30-minute curls up, it's suggesting, ooh, this might be a rip. Consolidate, rip, right? We'll see. The worrisome thing is if stocks are here, by the time Nvidia earnings is coming out, like by the end of the day, if you see stocks in a liquidity zone, oof, that could really go either way. Like at that point, they have liquidity. They can do something with it. They've already built a lot down in here, so a shoot up to here would make sense. Grab more, maybe even head back down. We'll see. That's why Nvidia 50-50 flip, very difficult to take trades when a big stock like Nvidia means so much to the market. No cross up just yet. small head and shoulders in the SPY, yeah, you want to pay attention to those little things. And that's what we kind of mentioned earlier. The fact that a lot of technical traders might say, oh, this is some kind of cup and handle, and now you're getting that little head and shoulders possibly in the SPY, right? Some people will say that. What I would say is with our daily expected move, that would mean something crazy is coming. So I want to pay attention if something different happens. If we shoot down like that's playing out, everyone that looks at this is going, oh yeah, this is going to be a massive drop, and then we just whip back around. So that's what I'm paying attention to. That's why I'm going live a little bit longer. I probably only have like 10 minutes left, and then I really have to go. But I just wanted to watch it with you guys. All right, now we can see maybe resistance come in, and in about 20 minutes, we'll see if we end up down to a daily expected move. If we can do that, we might have a good setup for a swing back to the upside. And maybe the SPY is giving a little hint of what's to come. Oh. But man, anything can happen with this earnings. I just don't want to get any kind of overly bearish when I do not see those signals for the SPY or the Qs. Don't see the 2-hour signals. Right, I'd be more bearish if this was all happening and we actually saw, you know, some kind of blip here. Like if we went like this. If we would have saw that, that's when I would be a little bit more bearish. Still paying attention if that's going to whip back around. But yeah. Because once you do that, you might see a 30-minute downtrend for a while. And then it would have just looked different. So I don't want to be overly bearish if I'm not seeing a signal like that. I want to more see if this is going to be a swing trade. All right, let's see. Can this form before I have to hop off? I've only got like maybe 10 minutes left. Apple reacting back to the 5, trying to lose the 5. Amazon very controlled. Watch if that starts to roll. And then Nvidia looks like it might roll down. Nvidia might roll down for a test of 143. If that happens in the next 10 minutes, we got to see a roll down. AMD okay signal might reach down to make a great signal. And Meta running into that resistance right at the daily, the 5-day moving average. Now Meta does only have on the short term, it does only have a divergence on the RSI. That says, hey, we could experience a little 30-minute pullback, but that could create a higher low for Meta. I really want to turn my channel into like a show. Like get someone who can look at news and stuff and have little segments. I think that would be so cool. Have like a technical analysis segment. I haven't looked. I just based on that question, I would want to make sure to take that question in stride and analyze for like 2 hours, just like I'm doing with the short sale volume. I analyzed that for 5 hours. My brain was dead yesterday. I came upstairs. I was like, my goodness. Mara sold out of the zone again. Yeah, that's what you got to watch out for. Okay, that means this. If this is going to say anything, let me check on everything else. Yeah, this is bad. That could be a double top. So a 30-minute pullback could happen here. Look for a retest of the 5 from this. Now that hasn't fully confirmed yet on the 30-minute even. That can be a drawn out pull down back down to 1873. It could get bad. This next like 15 minutes pretty important for Mara. If it's going to reject again from there, reload, and then make another attempt, we could come and fill this gap actually now that I see it. Which, like, Mara has decent signals at these lows, right? The 30-minute signal saying 2 hours is going to pop up. You get 30-minute pullbacks in these 2-hour moves. You just don't want that 2 hour to flip back down, right? You want that to maybe hold up a little bit better on the 30-minute. You just don't want the 2-hour to flip back down. And you haven't fully confirmed that this is going to reject from there just yet. Not fully. SPY staying relatively controlled there. We kind of want to see it get uncontrolled to the downside for the great signal. If it's just going to curl up on a 30-minute, awesome. Curl up on a 30-minute, my dude. Like, that's fine. Cool, do it. But if it's going to give us the great signal, then we're going to see maybe this get a little dramatic to the downside for a moment. People are still towards the call side, dollar heading higher. I used to be able to do it. All right, so there's some of our ejection. I don't know what ejection means there, but rejection. Yo, I need me some lunch. I'm getting hungry. I might send a text to my my chef, aka my wife. Tell her that I will be on dad duty. All right, here we go. We want this to scale down. We want this to really pick up to the sell side for a second. Awesome, it is. This is like so nice. This is what I used to do in bear markets. Just pay attention to the behavior and see what's happening. We can still turn around at any point, but this is good if we see this sell off and then take out this low, take out the stops at these lows. That would all be good things, actually, for the trade to set up. We still have to see if it's going to actually, you know, confirm and fully happen, right? We have to make sure these things are confirming, but just look at the difference here of this MACD. If you would make that divergence, it looks pretty damn cool. Damn it, it's gonna start happening right as I have to get off. All right, guys, I do have to hop off, so we have to see, is that 30-minute just going to cross up, confirming this as some kind of higher low, or is this going to shoot down, get people bearish, take out the stops, and then curl up later on, giving you that that real divergence that you would see down here if that would happen. Right now, it does look a little bit likely that we're going to go make that divergence. Okay, so something that I'm paying attention to on my shorter charts. That's why I could find that little thing here that we are going to, you know, in order for this trade to really be good, a retest of this level was very important, and then you fall off. So we'll see if that's going to come to fruition. It is starting to speed up, so just be cautious. But if that turns up right here, right now, hey, 30-minute, turn it up. Little right by the center line, and then if it keeps heading down, just watch out if it actually makes that reversal signal, and then that will be a good sign that this is a very strong base, and this is most likely heading to a weekly expected move. Anything can happen with Nvidia earnings. Now, if you want to learn anything that I'm talking about, we don't necessarily teach the micro stuff. I can teach that in the course if you guys would like to see those things. I think a lot of people would, but I don't want people to get any kind of encouragement to take day plays. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to put you in a higher probable trading strategy, a higher probable way to look at these charts. And one of the things we talk about is you've pretty much, the stat is 95% of day traders lose money. Okay, so you gotta be good at it. All right, so we don't necessarily encourage that too much here because it immediately puts you in a bad percentage. I understand people are good at it, but I'll think about putting some of the micro stuff on the course if you guys are interested. So thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. I tried to stay on for as long as I could to see how this would form. It's kind of playing out how we expect to this point. And for what the signals look like on the micro side, hey, you still have to be paying attention to if this 30-minute can just curl up for the higher low after grabbing some buyers. So I think it's fine. I'm a little bit more leaning towards this, right? I'm leaning towards it, but that doesn't mean it has to happen. I'm just going to react based on what the signals tell me. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for liking the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the new subscribers, the donations. Thank you guys so much. You are a fantastic community, and that's why I want it to grow. I want more fantastic people in here. We are close to 10K, so if you can leave a like on this video and maybe every video up until Christmas, maybe we can get some people in here, some more good, nice, friendly people willing to learn, willing to be accountable for their trades, and maybe we can hit 10K by Christmas. I think that would be very, very cool. Thank you guys for joining. I do appreciate you being here. Hopefully you appreciate me too, and I will see you guys later on YouTube. Peace out. Yeah, today was fun though, right? Right, Chris? You could kind of see more how I look at things and that I'm not a total idiot on short time frames. Like that's what I do during my regular day. So hopefully you guys have a good one. Good luck with your trades. Just a last reminder, Nvidia earnings is a 50-50 flip. Trade like water, manage risk. Peace out, guys. Luciano, thank you for subscribing. Bye.